Hello, welcome back. All right, today I'm going to be planning out and kind of putting the final touches on my 101 technical mentorship program. And if you guys have questions or blockers about becoming a web dev, feel free to ask in chat. We usually do a Q&A around this time, but got some work to do. Because I've been hosting the front-end cohort for almost a few months now. And I want to take what worked and turn it into kind of like something that could support people that need a little bit more of a flexible schedule. Because that's the tricky thing. With a coding bootcamp, with a cohort, with any like sort of group thing, getting everyone to show up every single day. And, you know, despite life's challenges, it's kind of tough. It's really tough. But we have our music. Let me go ahead and toss this in Discord, and then I'll share my screen, and we will get started. I'm going to pull up a Notion doc, and probably a spreadsheet. There are a couple things I might want to do, so let's see if I have time to do it. All right. Let's go ahead and get the link. But happy Friday, by the way. Right. Also, I got my new mechanical keyboard hooked up too. I couldn't spend a whole lot on it, but I did get my first mechanical keyboard, and I am loving it. It's a split mechanical keyboard, which is pretty cool. Yo, what's up, G? How you doing? All right. It is a good Friday. All right, let me go ahead and get this link, toss it in Discord. Give me maybe 5 minutes to get set up, and we'll jump into it. I had some technical issues. That's why I'm a little bit late. All right. So, live. I've really been liking it with coding, too. Man. I should have tried this a long time ago. The mechanical keyboard specifically. All right. I'm live. One technical mentorship program. Web dev / career questions are welcome. Boom. Publish. And let's go. All right. Oh, sorry. What's up, Jays? I missed yours. How you doing? Happy Friday, man. I love mechanical keyboards. Oh, man. That's so... I just got one. I don't know. Maybe I'll hate it in 6 months. I don't think I'm going to, though. I like the feel of it. Kinesis keyboard? Yes. It's Kinesis Freestyle Pro. I think I got their cheapest version. Still expensive, but I got their cheapest version, and I'm liking it so far. I wanted to try to fix my posture, because my posture, you know, just sitting at a desk hunched over all the time. I've been having... I threw out my back last weekend, and I've kind of been having shoulder issues, which has been interfering with my weightlifting. So I'm trying to fix it. Honestly, didn't know it was Friday until like a half an hour ago. That's crazy. Damn, you've been busy this week. What's up, Zinka? How you doing? The licks and clacks you'll see on the TV movie. On our eyes these days. Oh, why am I missing so many messages? What's a mechanical keyboard? Yeah, I think that's it has a different feeling to it. It's just you know what? I'm gonna butcher. There's so many programmers that are, I'm sure, gonna shit on me for my description. But a mechanical keyboard, in my uneducated opinion, I don't know. The way I described it is just a feel. Like, it kind of feels like it clicks. Every time I press a key, it just clicks. And the feel, you just actually feel every single key press And it kind of just feels cool to program with it, with every key press, adding more code. It's a horrible description. And it's louder. Maybe that'll add to my description, but that's how I view it. It's good, thank you. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. That is the brown switches, right? They are tactile switches, so they'll feel good to type with. Yes. So, old boss of mine, he got red switches, and he said that the red switches don't have as much of a feeling. Which, why would you buy a mechanical keyboard if you don't want the feeling? Or am I crazy? Like, I want the feeling, but yeah, you feel it with the brown ones. Actually just sat down to mod my own first mechanical keyboard. And that's what I hear you can do. And I have no idea how to go about that, but I know that's a thing. And hopefully one day, maybe I customize it a bit. I would, well, you know what? I think it'd be really cool to customize it with different colored keys. Because I like some of the mechanical keyboards that had different colors and highlighted certain keys. I don't know what I liked about it. Happy Friday, B. What's up? Mary, how you doing? You right? Okay, that's a pretty good description. Glad to hear it. All right, let me go ahead. We're gonna open up a Notion doc. So I gotta log into Notion with my other account, Notion.com. And we're gonna start on this document. All right. Okay, so we're gonna do one-on-one front-end technical mentorship. All right, let's go. And then we'll jump into the spreadsheet. And what you'll probably see, so like I'll just flat out say it. Like I outsourced the educational program to Scrimba. Like I've been going through their program. It's good. It's not perfect. It's good though. And I can find areas to supplement. I have for the cohort, but not too much. Overall, it's pretty good. I think I would supplement a little bit more and add more to what they have. Like they have like a really good foundation in their, what do they call it? Like the front end path or something like that. And there's more courses that need to be added to that. But they actually have some kind of like, not, I don't know if it's third-party courses, but they have some instructors who have created other courses that will go over something like TypeScript. I got to see if they do have Redux. But I'm going to be using a good chunk of their curriculum. But I'm actually going to plan that out in terms of like a 10 hours per week. Enrolled in Full Stack Academy Coding Bootcamp. All right, Angela. How's that going? Ooh, this music hits. I like it. All right, I think we're good. Let me switch out mice and make sure, yeah, everything looks good. Wait, how did am I on the right account? Yeah. And I automatically logged into Notion? When did I do that? That's crazy. I'm on the right account, right? I ain't leaking anything. Okay. I think we're good. Let's go ahead and share. Let's do it. Hey, what's up, High Priest? How you doing? And guys, let me post this. Here, I'm gonna post a couple things as a pinned comment. Actually, YouTube, down the developer, and I just made a community post about it too. Community. All right. Sign up link is here. Sign up link. Sign up link for technical or front end. Front end. Oh my god, I can't spell front end. Oh no, I already butchered it. Remove. Oh, it has a long link. Copy. Come on. All right. Sign up link for front end technical mentorship program. Boom. Also, web dev career questions are welcome while I'm working on this. There we go. We're gonna go pin message. Highlight all this, put it in Twitch. Pop out chat. Thank you for being patient. I wanted to get a lot of this done initially, but we had some technical issues in the beginning. Well, I had some technical issues. All right, so we have... let me copy and paste this one more time. Nope, it screwed up the highlight. All right, there we go. Thank you. Toki, you got it before me. No. That's, yeah, that's there's a bunch of advertisers on Twitch that'll do that. But Twitch does not accept VPNs, apparently, because I can't even ban that person. Toki, I can't see that chat. Can you go ahead and just permanently ban that person? And let me know once you've done so. Because I had to refresh chat. But yeah, you have people... That happens on Kick and Twitch, where you'll have people that'll come into different chats and just advertise their service right away. They're just like flies. You gotta swat them. Yeah, Toki, let me know once you've done that. All right. There we go. I think we're kind of all set up now. Hopefully. All right, everything looks good. Toki, are you there? Hello? Blocked him. Blocked or banned? Which one? Yeah, which one? Blocked or banned? But I appreciate you checking out and watching Twitch, though, too. Because we sometimes forget about Twitch. All right. So, 101 front-end technical mentorship. So, I kind of want to talk about some things that... So what are the reasons? Honestly, there's a difficulty with a cohort. What's up, Renee? How you doing? I'm gonna wait for Toki. Let me know. Did you block or ban them? Because I gotta pull up the logs and knock that out if you haven't done that. What's up, B Club? How you doing? So I think I want to talk about some of the challenges, actually. Okay, figuring out how to ban. Can you go ahead and just type the username in? So what you can do is type /ban. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Permanently banned. Love it. Yeah, it's /ban. If you left-click their name, and then on the very far left option is the hammer, which, you know, we have the emoji for. Just click that. It's a permanent ban. Because you could choose, when you left-click their name, it'll pop up a new window. You could choose, like, 10-minute timeout, you know, and just expand that timeout to up to, like, 1 week, I think. But the ban option is the very far left. It's good to know for the rest of our mods, too. For some reason, we don't see you. Oh, thank you, thank you. There we go. Fixed. Thank you, High Priest. All right, cool. All right, so let's dive in. So, all right, I'm getting distracted. We're gonna do H2. 101 front-end technical mentorship challenges of Cohort. Holy shit. Like, the big challenge, so we've had some people leave. The big challenge is, there are two. No. There are several. We're going to talk about the main one causing people to leave. Personal life circumstances. So, like, financial changes, financial situations, or, like, when you're trying to make it work. Because I think almost everyone in the cohort is working another job. And so if that job, like, the contract ends or something like that, that changes your financial situation. If that, the hours required now shift, which can happen pretty frequently with service work. And now, like, that takes up the evenings. We only have, like, a certain amount of time during the evenings that we have to schedule so everyone can get on board with to show up. And that makes it really tricky, you know, when people's lives change and they can't really continue the cohort. There's nothing we can do. We need everyone to show up at the same time when we're doing this group cohort thing. Which is why I think a full-time program makes more sense if I were to offer it again. Like, I could do a part-time program, but man, is it, like, it's just difficult. People are trying to make it work around their jobs. So that's the one thing that got in the way. And then speed. I have to be very strict with my screening. And I tried to screen the best that I could, but I definitely did not do it perfectly. And everyone goes at a different speed. Everyone has different available hours part-time. Like, that's what I noticed with part-time. Like, with full-time, it's like everyone pretty much has at least 40 hours to work with. Like, you treat it like a full-time job. With part-time, it fluctuates quite a bit. And then you get people that move through it really fast that they get bored. And you have people that go slow, and you really need to slow down your program to be able to make sure that they don't fall behind, because eventually they're going to drop out anyways. So appealing or appeasing people of different speeds is a really difficult thing to do. You have to screen for this. You have to probably match the certain amount of available hours. You also have to screen for financial stability, for or just, like, I would say career stability, kind of. And the reason why is because when people sign up for a group cohort, they are really, a lot of them are on board with working with each other. They want to learn, they want to grow, but they want to work with each other. They want to pair program. And then when you have people that start dropping out because their life changes, it's difficult to, like, make them happy. Everyone comes into it with, like, different interests and their own wishes of kind of a group cohort. It's for me, it's been really challenging, kind of just getting everyone, like, making everyone happy based on how they need to be challenged. And, like, it's just been difficult. So this is why I'm essentially doing this. I don't know if I'll do another group cohort, but I think this makes sense to do the one-on-one where it's tailored to your speed. So we can move fast if you move fast. We can move slow if you move slow. Like, that's essentially what I've come up with for the solution. You don't really get to pair program unless it's with me. You're stuck with me. But, which you're going to get a lot more education. But I get pair programming with peers. But the one thing is, the group project would be really nice to be able to create, but it's not a deal breaker. It's not something that's going to hold you back from getting a dev job. But, like, dealing with merge conflicts is a really good thing to practice. Dealing with not stepping on each other's toes and talking through things like that with your peers. That's a really great thing to go through. That's the only flaw with a one-on-one. It's probably the only flaw. Everything else, it's just tailored perfectly to challenging you exactly how you need to be challenged. So that's the whole point of this. So essentially, I'm going to talk about hours. So time investment. My headers are probably not accurate. They could be better. But time investment. Awesome. Glad to hear it, Toki. All right, so... And that's another thing. And maybe you guys can relate. I actually want to share... Maybe I could share... I do want to share a couple things about the cohort. One thing I noticed is... I I have, like, and this is going to sound arrogant, but I've been doing this for a long time. I've been helping especially front-end developers for a very long time. I know exactly what you need to learn. I know exactly when you need to learn it. I'm really good at that. And I'm really good at properly assessing the holes in people's knowledge and being able to make sure those holes are filled. I think that's that's just one thing I have down. Despite me being able to tell you exactly what to do, people still have their own preferences. People, and this is kind of, this is the thing that you got to work around. People have their own preferences of how they like to learn. They will go back and rewatch material that they don't need to rewatch, but it'll make them feel more comfortable. So that slows things down. And then they'll, like, I've had people fall behind because of that. And like me knowing, I'm like, okay, you don't really need to be super comfortable with this concept, but this concept you do. And I think when you get a mentor, you need to really lean on that mentor telling you things like core fundamental concepts that you really need to know. And like, do we really need to remember the shorthand for box shadow and CSS? Probably not. We could probably look that up. It's stuff like that I think a lot of new developers get tripped up over, because how the hell are you supposed to know, right? You get delivered new information, you just want to soak it up, you want to learn it, you want to reinforce it, and you do your best to do that. You try to remember everything, but you shouldn't. You don't need to remember everything. I think getting exposure to some things is healthy and then moving on. And you'll probably get reinforcement as you use them later on for your projects, if you use them for your projects. I think a lot of people, a lot of aspiring developers have preference. And that's the tough thing about the self-taught path, is you have preference, and you don't go through the most efficient path to be able to learn things, because you don't know the most efficient path. And even if you get a mentor that tells you the most efficient path, sometimes your gut feeling tells you otherwise, because you haven't really trained yourself to be able to learn efficiently how to code. You just haven't learned that yet. So that's another tricky thing, but at least with this program, we could slow down the pace if someone chooses to do that. Even if I'm going to stress, like, hey, you don't have to remember box shadow. You don't have to remember regex patterns. Getting exposure to them is great. There are regex builders. That's okay. So, yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you do like the video, please do give it a thumbs up. It helps boost it in the algorithm. And by the way, if anyone has any questions or blockers about becoming a web dev, feel free to ask questions. I don't mind taking a little detour with that, because this is replacing our normal Q&A. Trust your mentor or teacher. Yeah, you have to trust the process. That's a big thing. Trust the process. If you don't trust your mentor or teacher to lead you the right way, like, you shouldn't have them mentor you. Like, find a different mentor. Honestly. You could try to properly assess, but, like, I'd say, after a few sessions with that mentor, if you don't even have a bit of trust with them and you're still skeptical, like, just find a different mentor. If that's happening with multiple mentors, the problem's probably you. Even if it's just like seeking out incorrect mentors and not knowing how to find good mentors. But at a certain point, when you join a long program, you got to be able to trust the process to how would you say this? You have to be able to trust the process like 80-90%. You could have some skepticism. You could challenge things. You can ask questions, but you should trust most of it. And if you can't, your learning is just going to be inhibited. I want to remember all regex patterns just to flex at people. Go for it, Albert. You go for it. That's my issue starting JS. I'm forgetting after workshops. Apply it. Apply it, apply it, apply it. Just build something small with it if you can't think of it. Like, you're not building a portfolio project to reinforce the concepts, but if you want to build, like, have a small coding challenge, a small thing that you can build, you could even just ask ChatGPT saying, hey, I just went over this fundamental concept. Give me 3 coding challenges that I can build or I can work on. I just bookmark a lot of stuff. I first tried to remember regex by memory. Oof, never gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, like, there are people, very few insane people that will try to remember regex. But you don't have to. And a lot of people want to remember it. They want to reinforce that concept right away. And sometimes you just got to get exposure to the concept and then reapproach it again down the road, and then reapproach it again down the road, and reapproach it again down the road. That's what good courses do. That's how they reinforce these concepts. They give you exposure, they give you practice. Okay, let's move on to the next concept. And they re-expose you to that concept, and re-expose you to that concept. It's repetition. That's all it is. And when you understand that, you could take a lot of the pressure off yourself, because you don't have to master it the first time you get exposed to it, right? That's insane. No one masters it the first time they're exposed to it. So, you're welcome. All right, so time investment, 10 hours. So basically 10 hours per week equals about equals about 8.5 hours with Scriba, and 1.5 hours with me, pair programming, Q&A, code reviews. For 9 months. So it could speed up past that, but I think a lot of people want to rush the front end path, and that's where you get all of these cookie cutter surface level knowledge front end developers that really don't know CSS or JavaScript that well. They don't know proper semantic HTML. You mention accessibility. What the fuck is that? Like, it takes time. And I think a lot of people try to rush the front end. If I'm being real, like, I could probably expand this into about like 10, 11 months easily. Easily. If I had to build the ideal program. But it's a long program. If you could dedicate about 10 hours per week, you have a full-time job. 10 hours per week is a lot for 9 months. It's a lot. A little bit each day is very helpful. But that is going to be 500. 500 a month. So it's meeting multiple times per week in the month. I don't, whether like the month we're going to meet like 5 weeks or 4 weeks, that's irrelevant to me. Whatever the month holds, I'm not going to overcomplicate it past that. I think like just starting off with probably the first of the month, that's probably what I should do. That wouldn't make much sense if people want to start right away. I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. It's taking the price of the cohort and just putting it into one-on-one. But time investment, and that's what it is. Let me break that down, H2. And then we're going to break down probably the curriculum, because I want to make sure 9 months makes sense. But actually, we're going to do restrictions, or contract. No contract. No contract. Terms. Short terms in invoice. No refunds, but no. That's what I want to say. No refunds. No refunds, but no. For service-based stuff, I very rarely give refunds. But I don't think I've ever had someone request a refund for my one-on-ones. But I'll filter it out to make sure it's a good fit initially. And I'll like flat out refund if I don't think it's a good fit and they sign up prematurely. And I probably refund about like 1 in 10 signups for my one-on-one mentorships. No refunds, but no contract. You can just not renew the next month. That's it. Short terms and invoice. That's all it is. I don't want to lock people in. Like I said, coding boot camps or I said this in the community post, but coding boot camps lock people into predatory contracts. I don't want to do that. There's nothing appealing about that. And this program is meant to let people kind of just dip if personal life circumstances change. That's the whole point of it. I've been heavily focusing on CSS lately and never realized how little I knew. Yes. Yes, it's one of those things you think is easy, then you learn there's so much more to it. Yeah, you've been diving into CSS animations. I saw that. How's that going? There's a lot with CSS, and it continues upgrading. Continues to upgrade. But yeah, I've been getting a good refresher on some CSS foundations that I haven't touched on, right? My dev job was, like, all my dev jobs were mainly, except my first one, a lot of my dev jobs were mainly JavaScript, mainly React stuff, or GraphQL. So I'm addicted to animation at the moment. It's my life right now. Nice. That's fun. That's cool. I'm glad you found something you're excited about. Okay, is there anything else? I pretty much described a lot of it. But essentially, like, if I just had to sum it up, and I think this works, it's a 9-month program. Around that, it depends on the speed. It might be longer. It might be faster. But I think for about 10 hours per week, we're dedicating about 8.5 hours for an online self-paced curriculum, 1.5 hours each week with me, probably 2 sessions, one 30-minute session, 30-minute Q&A, and 1 hour code review, because you're going to have projects. That makes sense. You're going to have projects like most weeks. And essentially just like letting you go through a lot of the Scrimba content, offering a Q&A session to go over tougher concepts, if I need to explain different concepts in a different way. And basically how I do my mentorship is just like, if I detect kind of holes in your knowledge with core concepts that I think are really important, let's challenge you with it, right? I've done that with my group cohort, where Flexbox was a big one. Like, even just a lot of people when they start out with CSS really get tripped up over block elements and inline elements, and then inline block throws them for another loop. But that concept alone makes them jump into Flexbox prematurely, because they're trying to center things, they're trying to position things and space things out properly and wrap things properly, and they don't know what the hell to do. And Flexbox, like, Flexbox makes that a little bit easier. But Flexbox is overkill, and sometimes Flexbox shouldn't be used to solve every problem. And so I think a lot of people get tripped up just of the block model, or block model. Am I referencing the wrong thing? I think the block model. Box model. I'm thinking box model. Okay. But they get tripped up over that. And then, like, now what happens when they finally figured out, like, block elements expand all the way, and but now I have 2 block elements that are stacking, but now I can't get the spacing between them down, and I keep adding space, and it's not adding as much space as I thought because the margins are collapsing vertically. Like, what the fuck? Okay, so margins collapse vertically. But when I have elements like side by side and I have margins that are on the left and right, they don't collapse. What the fuck is this CSS? This is frustrating. Like, I don't get this, right? And CSS has all these little quirks that I think are really important and like foundational concepts that people pass over in their courses and they don't really get down. Those are the kind of concepts, especially with building layouts and understanding all the little quirks that go along with this, with different displays. It's fun to dive into it. It's fun to create challenges with it. So I think that's where I can identify some of this, and I'll probably identify it with the projects, and then be able to properly, even if it's just like giving them a little challenge, even if it's having them review some of the material. I just need to properly assess that. I do that very well. But that's going to be a big portion of it. It's like identifying the holes in knowledge that need to be filled and the holes in knowledge that we just got to give a little bit more exposure to down the road. Will you ever visit India? I have no idea. I can't say I have any future plans to visit India, to be honest. I've never been outside the US. What's up, Miles? How you doing? Excited about the offering. Nice. I think that's it. I don't think I really want to build this out. I I think I explained quite a bit of it in the community post. I wanted to talk about some of the challenges of the group cohort, which I did. I think I want to build the schedule out in the outline, and you guys can see me do that. And you guys can literally take what I'm doing and just, like, you don't have to sign up. Like, hop on a Scrimba or supplement it with another course. Like, I'll give you the outline that I'm thinking. Yeah, I think I would have planned it out a little bit. What's up, Black Kojak? How you doing? All right. And by the way, if you guys have questions or blockers about becoming a web dev, you are welcome to ask in chat. Normally, we do our Q&A around now, so we just combine both. So let me do that, actually, because I don't think I have anything else to plan out. I just want to talk through it a bit. All right, let me... I think I'm going to build a spreadsheet. We're going to do... Okay, so this is C2. So I ended up having to split my cohort into 2 cohorts, which has been challenging. Oh man, trying to like balance the difference in skill levels and available time has been rough. Holy shit, it's been rough. But I think this is 8 months. Okay. Let me go ahead and share this with my account here. By the way, happy Friday, everyone. What are you guys going to be doing this weekend? Share with 2 people. I don't want to leak that. Can I just copy it? Can we do a copy? Make a copy. So we're going to do front-end technical mentorship. We could do it in Cohort. That's fine. Make a copy. And let me sign into Google Drive here. Go to Drive. And then share. We're going to have to clear this out. I leaking anything? Nope. Always got to check that when I'm doing it. Share. All right, what is my username? Notify. Share anyways. Access updated. Okay, so we have the 101 technical mentorship. Here we go. Okay, editors can view my view history. That is fine. All right. Whew, this is the big one. Planning this out. I'm learning XR development on the weekends. What's XR development? Life has been lifing for me lately. It's a good expression. I like that. Gonna finish my front-end mentorship project and check out a new shopping mall I've been putting off. Okay, nice. Got a new shopping mall. It's a pretty big thing in your town. We don't see your screen. Yeah. You are right. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Just want to make sure everything is good. All right. All right, I think we're good. Yep. Yes. I'm just always triple checking that I'm not leaking anything, because I hate tossing live streams just because my dumbass leaks something, you know? All right. I think we're good. Boom. Let's go. All right, here is my curriculum. This is actually not a finished curriculum, but this is based off of Scrimba. I planned this out. I don't even remember what I was doing with this calculation. Oh, yeah. So I think what this does is this basically... okay, so what I did with Scrimba is with this timeline, of the second cohort. This is the second cohort. With this timeline, I essentially said, I gotta remember this. 3 hours of Scrimba content will take a person 1 week to complete if we're doing our group projects in the evenings. And that's basically what this calculation is. And so what I do is I take the estimated time by Scrimba to complete. But this is for 10, this is, I think, for like 12 hours of available time during the week. So I gotta adjust it for 10 hours of available time for the week. Which is, yeah. So we're gonna play around with this. I'll be helping a buddy of mine put a PC together, play games, and continue my project. Nice. Determined to keep at it even though I'm out of the hackathon for personal reasons. Yeah, keep at it, man. I'm glad to see that you're having fun with the project, for you to at least keep that momentum up. Yeah, our hackathon, what are we at now? Like, we're 2 weeks in. Yo, it's Friday. I think everyone that's still in made it in, right? B? Because I think I dropped 2 people that didn't keep up with their updates, but I think everyone else is still in. Maybe I'm off with that. But yeah, we're halfway through the hackathon, which I've been working on Nest.js. I'm liking it. I'm really liking it. I haven't really dove... I think Laravel was the last opinionated backend framework I've ever used in the PHP world a long time ago. I like opinionated frameworks. I think they're really good for onboarding other developers. And I think getting knowledge of a framework that is very opinionated instead of my like spaghetti code of a Node.js application with Express, like I like getting a framework that is reinforcing conventions that I haven't really practiced a lot, right? I haven't dove into Angular. Angular is a full-fledged front-end framework. So I actually think it's a lot of fun. And I think sometimes front-end developers are kind of, or the front-end world is just like the wild, wild west. And you just scrape together whatever you can for the startup that you're working on and fuck scalability, right? And fuck like onboarding. Onboarding is a huge pain. But like companies that have these more opinionated frameworks where every developer is doing the same conventions and the architecture is agreed upon, those companies are able to onboard junior developers a lot easier. If you want to try to find a company that can actually onboard junior developers much faster, which means less money spent to onboard you for new companies, which means it's a junior-friendly company, like an actual entry-level position, get a company that has their conventions and their patterns and their architecture down, and people aren't bickering over dumb shit that just holds a project up, right? People, like, because in the front-end world, you get a lot of disagreement and a lot less productivity for it sometimes. So it's kind of cool. Like, I think it's something to consider. Like, if you want a company that really can onboard you fast because everyone agrees on it, on the conventions, and they can just show you the proper conventions instead of like 3 or 4 different ways that we've done it in our code base, maybe consider something with Angular. Maybe consider a backend position with a more, maybe don't dive into a Node.js or try to join a company that has a Node.js application that just uses Express, and they've kind of like fitted their own architecture together. I don't know. That's kind of like my rough opinion, diving a little bit deeper into a more opinionated framework. Nest.js, yes, Mary. Not Next, Nest. Nest. It's fun. I like Nest. It's with the cat. It's the framework with a cat. But yeah, project is slow, Miles. Just checked again, and now it looks like everyone aside from the 2 people you dropped are still in. Awesome. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. I want to build my PC in the future. I just need to research a lot more. Okay. Build my PC. Oh, okay. So you got to research to be able to build your PC. I find Nest.js chaotic compared to Express. It's so much code with the MVC. It is more code. I don't think that brings chaos. I think that brings organization. There is more, like, it has a learning curve. It has a steep, compared to an Express application, has a very steep learning curve. But Mobek, I don't know if you've been exposed to a lot of different Node.js applications, and in my even front-end positions, I would dive into the back end and look at it, and I'd learn from it. Holy fuck, that's chaos, because no one can be consistent about it. It's actual chaos. It's not that scalable. It's not... That's what you call chaos. I was looking into that recently, but I haven't touched it yet. I like it. I don't think if you're a new developer, you should dive into something like Nest.js unless you are actually, like, you are highly focused on getting a backend position. I don't think going the normal, hey, let's build a simple CRUD app and we're going to learn Mongo and we're going to hook it up with Express. And, like, I don't think that's a good... That doesn't make you marketable. A lot of coding boot camps have tricked you into thinking that makes you marketable for a backend position. That does not make you marketable. We use Nest.js at my job at the backend. Oh, okay. Okay, so you use it pretty extensively. You small... Yeah, but, like, Nest.js is overkill for some apps, right? And that's a reality. I'm not new. Okay, yeah, try it out. Check it out, Mary. See how you like it. I'd be curious what your opinion is if you're just coming into it new. Mobak, that's interesting. I didn't... Maybe you said that before, but I didn't know you used Nest.js. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Day... Whew. Here we go. We are just going to do dates. Should we do dates or days? We'll do dates. It's not going to go by dates, but this is just easier. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. Oh, wait. Actually, I want 1, 1, 24. Oh, 1, 1, 24. Okay, these are all 24s, 24s, 24s. Okay. Let's go ahead and get rid of all these dates and make them all white. So right now we're planning out the mentorship program. And so I wonder if there are going to be people that kind of come into this and they want to skip some of the fundamentals. I'm very skeptical about that. I'm open to it, but like they got to be open to diving back into fundamentals if their fundamentals are choppy. I'm not teaching you React. Like, I don't want to teach people React where they have shaky JavaScript fundamentals. Like, that's not a good time. And I don't even want to do that. That's horrible for you. It gives you a misconception that you are further along than you think you are. And it's just a bad idea. Way too many, quite frankly, like just, I don't want to call them bad developers, but just like low-skilled junior developers that are not ready for dev positions have jumped into React way too quickly and get tripped up over really fundamental JavaScript concepts. Can I, like, stop? Okay, I finally got the hair. It was bugging me for a while. All right, so we are going to do this, and then we're going to expand. No! Wait, how do we get it to... Anyone know Google Sheets? How do we get it to... Oh, wait, was it expanding? Or I just didn't see it? Maybe it was. Yo, we got it. Okay. We're going to go 9 months. We're going to plan this out. Because I have one. Oh, no! Thank you. Damn it. All right. Oh, no, I just have to change the 1, 2. Awesome. Thank you. I thought I was... Okay. We're good. I panicked for no reason. All right. Let's keep going. Okay, we're getting there. Yo, this is long. How? Oh, well, this is only like half of the curriculum or something like that. This was a new spreadsheet that I formed when I split off the cohort. Okay. Oh, we got our 9 months. In reality, like, I honestly would love to build my own curriculum that lasts a year long, and it's going to be pretty in-depth. I think. I don't know. I think a year is stretching it. I don't think you necessarily need a year part-time. But, I mean, you could sprinkle in personal projects and start building up your portfolio projects and not just go through these templated projects, right? Thank you, Mary. I understand, correct? This mentorship is $500 a month for 9 months? Correct. That is correct. Well, it depends. Like I said, if it's faster, then it'll be more for less time. If it's slower, it'll be less per month for a longer period of time. Hey, Don, what do you think about creating bug tracking app for a website? I think there is some tools like this on the internet, so there's no commercial room, but for education, why not? Go for it. If you want to do it for education, try it out. I think a lot of people answer their own questions with like, hey, I kind of want to build this app. You should build it. Try it out. If you want to learn something from it, go for it. Hey, man, I met you before in boot camp in Chicago. Okay. That's pretty cool. Where, what boot camp? All right. Because I had a lot of people from different coding boot camps get mentorship from me in Chicago. Are you talking about that, or? Web dev question, curious about your opinion. Should new devs learn testing frameworks? I've come across frameworks like Jest, Mocha, and Chai in the few blogs, but not sure if I should be learning it. 100%. Yes, 100%. Entry-level developers should be learning how to write tests. Just basic unit tests, get some exposure to it, but yes. I think it is healthy to dive into the different types of tests that you can write. And I think, honestly, like a lot of integration tests probably are going to be what people write, especially for the back end. But, I mean, for front end, like a lot of front end developers should be learning how to, even if it's just like React testing library. You have different types of conventions with what you should test to, and looking into that and seeing the opinions on that. Don't dive too deep into it. Sometimes people are so opinionated with it. But even just getting exposure to the difference between React testing library or something like, what is it? Like Jest and Enzyme is often paired with the front end. Am I wrong with that? Hold on. Common testing frameworks for front end. It's been a while since I wrote front end test without React testing library. Jest. Yeah, I think Jest is usually paired with Enzyme, if I'm correct. I don't know. I gotta look into that. But that should be part of the curriculum, to be honest. Cypress, I've heard about Cypress for end-to-end testing is commonly used as well. It is, but man, I feel to pick up Cypress for your personal project at an entry level, I feel like that's unreasonable. I use Cypress in my third dev position. It's overkill. I think it's overkill. I think just writing tests and just getting exposure to writing tests for your front end, I think it's going to make you stand out. Very few people actually followed through with that. Yeah, Cypress feels like overkill at the entry level, but kind of like mid-level and up, or like in professional positions, you might eventually pick up something like Cypress. Forgot the name, but it was meeting on Wednesday night or Thursday night around 6 or 7. It was next to a court or across the street from. Oh, I know. Oh, so you're talking about my mentorship program in Chicago. I think that's what you're talking about, Trek. Yeah. It wasn't. So it Full Stack Academy, because I was friends with the director there, and he let me just host my mentorship event in the space, because they had a large one-floor thing when they moved out of the Y Combinator place. But yeah, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about the mentorship program. It wasn't actually, I think people had a misconception. That wasn't part of Full Stack. I was just friends with the director, and he was nice enough to let me the space. And I'd shout out Full Stack once in a while as kind of like a thank you, but it's because back then I believed in the quality of Full Stack Academy. Now, but back then it was pretty good. But yeah, I remember that. That's pretty cool. It's a long ass time ago. I stand corrected. It looks like one more person should get dropped from the hackathon. Oh, okay. Feel free to drop them. Well, so what I like to do, B, is just double check the updates. Make sure that they are actually missing an update, because sometimes I incorrectly mark it. And maybe you incorrectly marked it. Just simple mistake. So double check that the updates channel, check that they did not meet the threshold for those updates. And then, yeah, just, you know how to mark them off as them not making it. And then I would just DM them, let them know. Be kind about it, of course, but I think you'll be fine with that. Or I can do it, doesn't matter. I will explore more into front-end testing. Okay, cool. I think Jest and React testing library would be good to focus on. You think so? Okay.
Hey, listen.
Renee, dropping the membership out of nowhere. Renee, thank you so much for becoming a supporter. I appreciate that, man. Become a member level dash supporter. Oh, Restream is just butchering the interpret. I'm basically building a better Restream chat app. Restream chat app sucks ass. I'm gonna build a better one. That's what I'm doing with my Nest.js project. Holy, I mean, that's the initial foundation of it. I'm gonna build more features on top of that, but damn. But thank you so much, Renee. I really appreciate that. By this time, I wanted to start mixing in, like, when people became a member, you could tell me I had to do push-ups, sit-ups, anything like that. And I threw my back out last weekend. So I think I finally just took my last round of medication for it. And my back's feeling a little bit better. But I think we're a few weeks out on that, unfortunately. So I gotta just build stability into my back. That sucked. I was making good progress, but yeah, no sit-ups or push-ups today for becoming a member, but thank you for the support. Thoughts on adding a project in the mentorship that requires some money aspect via Stripe? Dealing with real money was always a scary territory, but after diving in, brought a lot of confidence. It depends. So there's going to be a group project aspect to it. So, fuck, I forgot to mention that in the. Maybe I'll update the community post in the sign up form, because what's going to be included in this is about a full month of a solo project, a capstone project. You're going to be doing mini projects along the way, but the capstone project is meant to, like, really, it's meant to look like a professional looking project. I forgot to include that. But that is going to be your choice. I don't think everyone should necessarily hook up Stripe, right? Maybe it was scary to you, but it might not be scary to other people. I think just interacting with other APIs is a really good thing. Interacting with an API in general is a good thing. And I think that's why at least diving into something like Firebase database makes sense for front-end developers. But yeah, I don't think it should be that. I'm not like hard set on this needs to be a specific type of project, like an e-commerce project or something like that. I think that sort of templated approach to everyone needs to build this project isn't necessarily a good idea. But it's an interesting thing. And if people are interested in building an e-commerce type of software, they could build that for the capstone. So it's going to be tailored based on the individual person. 10 squats done, yeah. You have to wait a few weeks. Yeah, man, squats. I forgot about that, fuck. I rarely do squats. I gotta do more squats. So that's gonna suck if that's an option. I have a question. Why do hiring techs give people with computer science degrees chances when they do not know how to code? What? I had a pair program with recent graduate. He didn't know the basics. So you pair programmed with one person that was a CS grad, and then you just black labeled people, all CS grads, that they just suck. I think that seems like flawed thinking, honestly, with you. Like what? No, that's a garbage opinion. There are a lot of CS. There's a variety. You're gonna get a variety of skill levels coming out from CS programs are going to be a little bit more consistent when you have more traditional CS degrees. But wow, to just completely black label all CS grads as they just suck. I don't know what to say about that. It's just a broken mindset. I don't know. It's a bad opinion. You're going to get a variety of skill levels with coding boot camps graduates. You're going to get a variety of skill levels with self-taught. Like that's just the reality. But I guess one thing I can grab from that statement is, yeah, there might be some CS grads that do graduate that aren't that great. That is true. And there are some CS programs that like really try to rush students through. And the quality of the education has been very questionable. That is a thing. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. How often do you host hackathons? It's just periodically. I don't think there's a consistent frequency. It's just once in a while. But yeah, welcome to the club, Renee. Appreciate that. Glad your back is feeling better, Don. I appreciate that. It is. It's finally feeling a little bit better. See, I got cocky earlier this week, and I was moving around a little bit too much, and then it got worse. And I'm like, fuck. So now I'm not on any... I take this like supercharged ibuprofen. I forgot what it's called. It's like Dex something. Where it's meant to like really heavily reduce inflammation, which has been helpful. I don't like going on painkillers and stuff like that for... pain. I just don't like messing with my system with that. So I basically just took a supercharged ibuprofen and just endured the pain, and it goes away in like 3 to 4 days when you throw out your back. So I like it. I'm really skeptical about tossing any sort of pain medication into me. It's got to be really bad. You know what I mean? Let's see. All right, let's start building this out, I think. So... I think what we do is this. So this is, hold on. This was an 8-month plan. Here's what we need to do. So it's essentially, job hunting course. And DSA practice. What am I doing here? Job hunting course. Oh, crap. DSA practice. Month 8 is capstone.
I always forget about my Prime sub. Ha ha.
I was like, wait, does that happen on YouTube? No, it's on Twitch. Lemony, thank you so much for the Twitch sub, man. Thank you for remembering and reminding me that I gotta use mine. Give it to a creator that deserves it. I forget too. I definitely forget too. So thank you. I really appreciate that. And Lemony is Miles on YouTube. He's one of our mods. Great mod. But yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate the support. Let's do... so this is Capstone Project. So Capstone Project and I think DSA practice makes sense. Like continuing to go through... We could... You know what? I actually think DSA practice and then a mock interview. I think a mock interview makes sense. So we're going to do... should we do like a bulleted list? Maybe. Job hunting course. Resume review. LinkedIn review. Cover letter review, like an example cover letter where cover letter review, follow up to recruiter, message review. I kind of like that. Because I think there's a strategy with cold applications. So this job hunting course that I'm building right now, it's kind of split up into two categories. It's one, it's like, let's perfect the cold application approach. And I think a lot of people do it wrong. But let's perfect it. Let's get that down, because most people are they're just used to this type of approach. But then the other portion of the course is split up into, okay, this is a great approach. We're going to use a lot of concepts no matter what here. We're going to use a lot of strategies here, but here's a better way, the networking approach. And so I think we really need to dig into, like, okay, how do they actually do company research to tailor the cover letter? Because a lot of cover letters are not worth writing because people write really boring, bad cover letters that companies, it's just a templated cover letter. Like, if you're just writing a templated cover letter and changing a couple lines, you're doing it the wrong way. Don't even bother submitting a cover letter. It's just a waste of your time. Just start pushing out your resume. But you do it right, we got to go over that cover letter. So I think I want someone to actually go through, do a little company research after they go through the course, and then properly write a cover letter. And then when they were to apply to a company, then go ahead and let's tailor your message that you're going to follow up to that recruiter or CTO, or, you know, it just depends on the size of the company. I think that makes sense. I think all this makes sense for month 9 and month 8 is just capstone and DSA practice. We're going to do a little DSA challenge here and there, a little bit of learning, and then practice. But mainly it's going to be the capstone. And then we got to fill up basically 7 months worth of content, which we can do. Naproxen, no, that does not sound familiar. I think it starts with DEX. Let me look at chat. I don't even mind saying it. Where is it? Because I was looking for, not Dex. It's like diclofenac. It's basically more potent. Yeah, diclofenac is what I've been taking. I was prescribed a muscle relaxer for my back, which if it got really bad, I would take it, but I put that off. I've thrown my back out twice. Once probably 3 years ago and once recently, last weekend. And I haven't had to take a muscle relaxer, thankfully. Got a job as a front-end developer in a startup company from India. That's awesome, San. Glad to hear it, man. Congrats. It was a 20-year-old kid who built a whole mobile app in Java and solved leak code problem that I stole from my Google mentor. Are you saying the 20-year-old kid stole that, or that you stole that from the 20-year-old kid, Trek? Medication is so different between the US and UK? Yeah, I can imagine it is. There are things that are banned in the UK that are not banned in the US. I think, I feel like the US is a little bit more... it's less restrictive with a lot of medication, where there are a lot of countries within Europe that are more restrictive than the US. I bet I was trying to fit everything into a single post. You're good. I'm just asking for a clarification. Are you saying like you stole the project from a 20-year-old kid, or the 20-year-old kid stole the project from your Google mentor? Or what are you trying to say with that? I just didn't understand it. I'm just asking for clarification. All right. Yeah, there might be a bit of a delay. I'll give you some time, Trek. Probably trying to respond to everything. But yeah, let me know. I definitely want to know the answer to that. So let's go ahead and squash a lot of this. And then same with this, evenings. Okay. So for this is, yeah, 3 hours. Well, they're going to be meeting less. Oh, that's going to be tricky, I think. This is going to be tricky. So I think for the personal projects, we've been doing an hour and a half each day. I got to think about how I want to span or kind of like plan this out. It was a 20-year-old kid who built a mobile app in Java and solved a leak. I gave him that my Google mentor used to give to people that he was about to hire to work. No, you mentioned... Wait, hold on. Did I misread that? Maybe I... Okay, so you mentioned solve leak code problem that I stole from my Google mentor. So, what? Who built a... What did you steal specifically? It's a 20-year-old kid who built a mobile app in Java and solved a leak code challenge I gave him. That my so okay, gotcha. It was just a leak code problem. I think I misunderstood. And you were saying you built a. I was thinking like you stole the mobile app. I gave him that my Google mentor used to give people that he was about to hire at Google. So you leaked the no Trek. I feel like no. Like, I think you gotta, like, watch your integrity. I'm just gonna... You can email me if you want to talk about it. I'm just gonna ban you. But, like, we're not about leaking interview questions and trying to cheat here. We're not about, like, stealing shit. Like, we have integrity here. So, I don't know. I've been watching your messages, and I feel like they're just coming off a bit toxic. All right, cool. All caught up. All right, so how do I want to do this? Let me load up Scrimba. Don't start playing. We're gonna go front end path. Or front end path. Let's click that. The only thing I noticed Scrimba does sometimes have some server issues once in a while, which can be frustrating. I'm not a fan of that. And let me here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull up a chat. And then I'm gonna just share the screen. There we go. All right, perfect. Now I can see everything. All right, let's go. So, we're going to go ahead and dive in. All right, so you can kind of just hang around and chill. And again, if you guys have web dev questions or career questions, feel free to ask in chat. But I'm just going to be planning out essentially a lot of the Scrimba content, which is kind of the curriculum I'm outsourcing for the foundational stuff. All right. All right, so, okay. I would say, okay, so here's kind of what I did is I reduced it down to a single day. Okay, before I go about this, I have to just make sure my calculation is right. So basically 3 hours of Scrimba content per week. So if I go 4.5 hours of Scrimba content per week, I expect them to work about 15 hours per week. I think I go by the more intense curriculum. And I got to supplement that. Because they were pairing a group project in the evening. 2.5 hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, plus 4.5 hours of Scrimba content. They needed to dedicate at least minimum 15 hours per week to keep up with the course. I think I'm going to try the more aggressive Scrimba schedule that I have. And it's probably not going to be aggressive enough to meet the 10-hour a week threshold. Thank you, Zinka. So, and I cut off a portion of it. Okay. So I think that's what I do. And here, I'm going to show you how I did this. 270. Okay, so this is 4.5 hours of Scrimba content equals about 7 days. And so all I'm doing with this is basically, like if I do 0 hours, 10 minutes, it minimizes to, or it's at least a day. But if I do like 2 hours, then it's like 4 days. So all I do is say like, okay, this Scrimba portion is going to take 2 hours, 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and fill up 4 slots of this. And that's essentially how I built up the curriculum. And it works. I would argue the curriculum right now, it's still pretty intense. But I think this is going to dump down to a little under 10 hours a week if I do it this way with this calculation. So let's do it. So we have getting started your own personalized web app. So it's basically just 0. And then it's going to be about 25 minutes, 1 day. And so this is what I'm doing. Getting started. And then we're going to do your own personalized web app. Right? Just like that. So that's this day. And then we go build and deploy your own or your first website. So we come down to here, and that's going to be, ooh, this song's fire. I love this song. 1 hour, 9 minutes. So that's 2 days. Merge, just like this. Oops, no, merge. Build. And literally, you guys can just steal my plan and not sign up for this mentorship program. I'm fine with that. Like, just steal it. I'm okay with that. If 500 a month is too much and you don't feel like you need any mentorship, like, just steal this plan. Like, ultimately, I just want you to be prepared for the front-end world, and it's just sad to see so many front-end developers that are unprepared. Is there anything else? So deploy your personal website. Okay, so this estimates a little bit high. It's going to take 2 days. And then we're going to do, just like you said, steal my plan now. Wait, I think Trent meant borrow the leak code problem when he wrote stole, though. But it's not about the concept of stealing or borrowing. It's a concept of leaking a Google interview problem that lacks integrity. So you completely missed a problem, Moback, with that. If you are leaking interview questions of a company, like, it's just from a lack of integrity. You shouldn't even be trying to memorize questions anyways. You should be trying to, like, really reinforce the fundamental concepts and continue to do harder challenges with DSA problems that identify holes in your knowledge of your foundational knowledge. So it's a huge mismatch with kind of a mindset of, like, just stealing that interview question. Take care, man. A Google. Oh, okay. He's coming back with a different account. Gotcha. Dodging the ban. We'll get rid of him. All right. So I know your first message. I know what it said. I think you're trying to skirt around it now. All right. Cool. Let's keep going. Scrimba. And mods, if he keeps just trying to create new accounts to dodge the ban, just ban him. All right, let's go. Build a Google clone. So I think that is going to be an hour and 15 minutes. 1 hour, 15 minutes. 2 days. Okay. Damn, I love this song. It's so good. Build a google.com clone. Okay, so Google clone. So this is going to be a deploy. So I think I want to shade a different color for a self-deploy because he might personalize it or add extra things. He or she, whoever. So this is going to be something like this, I think. We'll see. I want to mark the self-deploys. Build a digital business card. All right. That is going to be an hour and 9 minutes. Let's check it out. Okay, 2 days. Build a digital business card. Okay, 48 minutes is probably going to be a day. So to build a business card, it does have a deploy. And then, but the deploy you don't have to customize. If you get a little bit ahead, so do I really need to mark it? Maybe I do. It probably makes sense to go back and mark these. I might have use for it down the road. Okay, so build a space exploration site. Build. Got a lurk? I have to go get my new glasses. All right, sounds good, Zinka. Build a. I didn't even know you wore glasses. All right, build a space exploration site. No self-deploy there. Okay, so that is a deploy. So birthday gift site. One hour, 34 minutes. We are, okay, so that's going to be 3 days. And I'm just going to periodically remind you guys are welcome to ask web dev questions, career questions, anything like that. Even though I'm working on this. Happy to help out. I think people are just chilling. They are for night driving. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so probably like block the headlights. Is that what it is? Oh, well, I don't know. I know my mom struggles a little bit at night. She's kind of cautious with driving at night. But is it because of like the headlights that you see and it's just too bright? What language can you say you genuinely dislike or you feel is overrated? I don't think anything's overrated. I don't really... I'm not glued to... I don't know. Every language has its pros or cons. And it has its use cases. I think you can make something happen... I don't know. What am I trying to say? Every language has its pros and cons. The whole, like, shitting on languages or, like, hoisting up other languages and just kind of, like, having a cult-like mentality with that and just... I just feel like I've talked to too many good developers that don't do that. Too many good senior developers that kind of just see it as pros and cons at the end of the day and don't obsess over this language, like, is horrible. This language... It's like a cult-like behavior that doesn't teach junior developers any good habits or any good mindset to have when they are building up a perception of different languages. So that's why it kind of forms my mindset. Like, I don't hate or love any language. They're just languages at the end of the day. I don't care, to be honest. Like, if JavaScript got destroyed and there's a new language, okay, let's just learn that. I don't care that much. You're asking the wrong person for that. I have astigmatism, so the headlights look double vision. Oh, without the glasses. Okay. I think that's what my mom has. A little bit of it. Okay. Okay, build a birthday gift site was an hour and 34 minutes. This does not. Deploy. Okay, personalized deploy. Okay, this is a deploy one. Can I spell birthday right? Maybe. How much will I charge for the technical mentorship? It's if you're dedicating 10 hours per week to it, it's going to be $500 a month. It'll go up if you want to speed it up per month, but long term it won't take as long, or it'll go down if you want to slow it down each month and spend like 6 hours or something like that. Okay, build a birthday. So then we have our hometown project. So for the hometown project, yeah, I think dedicating like, so I'm going to build the projects into this. That's the thing. I think I want to do 4.5 hours for each project. I don't think this calculator is going to be meant for that. 7 days for the entire project. That's crazy. Is that crazy? Because Scrimpa, I was estimating they were going to work a little bit on the side. I think 5 days makes sense. Oh, I got to figure this out because that's going to influence this. I think maybe a week. What if we did a week for the group project and see how that goes? Let me think about this because I don't want to keep building this up and then have to change it later. Okay, so if I think about this, it's 10, so it's 5 hours, 8 hours. So I would have to subtract 8 hours from the 15 hours that I had a requirement for my cohort. And then 4.5 hours of Scrimba content would equal about 7 hours. Hold on. Okay, 7 days. I think it's going to be about 5 days. I want to get this right. So it's 15 minus 8. We have 7 hours. It'll probably take you 7. Like if Scrimba says it'll take you 4.5 hours, it'll probably take you 7. And that's an overestimation. And these projects probably take about 4.5 hours. Let me just do it. No, my ink's running out. All right, so 4.5 hours equals 7 for the Scrimba content. But it's a legitimate 4.5 hours. I think it's going to be 5 days. I'm doing 5. Okay. Let's go ahead and do 5 days for the group project. Uh-oh, I lost my place. Okay. So, hometown. Hometown homepage. And then this is going to be 1 hour, 25 minutes, 3 days. Now we can start moving a little bit. Merge. Build a passenger counter. App. 1 hour, 25 minutes. There is no... there is a deploy, okay. JavaScript challenges is 26 minutes. Okay, I already know that's going to be 1 day to complete. I should just for a sanity check, I still like typing it in. I did finally encounter a part where Scrimba is having you rebuild one of the array methods, which I really do like. I think that's a great practice to understand what's happening under the hood with the array methods. All right, so we're going to do solo project. That's going to be 5 days. Basketball scoreboard. And then we go... Okay. We'll just include it. That's fine. Set up a local dev environment. And... Blackjack game is pretty intense. So that's going to be 2... Oops. Oops. Is it? 45. 5 days. Build a blackjack game. I should start labeling... Hold on. We're going to do orange for personal projects. Build a blackjack game. Let's see. Okay, I think that's good. No self-deploy, right? Not missing it? Okay. And then JavaScript challenges part 2 is 25 minutes, so JavaScript challenges part... Did I... Wait. Build a blackjack game. Oh, whoops, that's why. I threw myself off. Oh, no, it's not even a deploy. It's just practice. Okay. That's just a normal module. Roughly 3 hours on a blackjack game is pretty quick, in my opinion. It's not 3 hours. Oh, you're talking... Okay, yeah, so 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's not like... You got to understand, they're not going over, like, all of the... all of the details of blackjack. It's like really just building a couple fundamentals of the blackjack game into it. Just to reinforce the right concepts. But yeah, it's not like an entire blackjack game. Password, but that module is really good. All right, so JavaScript challenges 2, password generator. Oh, what am I doing? Password generator. That's going to be personal project. And then Chrome extension. I think that was actually interesting. I was on the fence of building a Chrome extension. You do deploy it, but the deploy is not the same. But I actually thought that was a pretty cool exercise. I didn't realize it was that simple to make a Chrome extension. We're going to do 5 days. So build a Chrome extension. JavaScript challenges part 3. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll give 5 days for the unit converter. I don't think it takes that much. Unit converter. But it might trip some people up. Well, actually, no, it did trip a couple people up. Yeah, that's fair. Let's do orange. Okay, so we are about 2.5 months in now. I also had to do a blackjack game when I was at school. LOL, I think it took me like 2 days. Gotcha. Yeah, it's going to take a long time. Like a full-fledged blackjack game, it's going to take a long time. What Scrimba often does is kind of just like focus on the concepts of a game. They won't build an entire game out, but they'll focus on the points where it directly relates to, or it at least touches on at least once, on concepts, on fundamental concepts that you just learned. So it's definitely not like a full-fledged blackjack game. All right, so we have that unit converter. Build a mobile app. I think it's very poorly designed. It's poorly placed in Scrimba's curriculum, and it sucks. I hate this course. It actually caused more. It was just a pain in the butt to get people through in the cohort. This is going to be a deploy. This is 2 hours and 3 minutes. This would do well. They need to come up with a different project for the or a different curriculum or portion of the curriculum to reinforce some of the concepts, because we dive into like object stuff here. I think viewport. Is that what it is? Oh, yeah, I think there was some stuff about navigating through objects, right? Different Flexbox stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm off. Oh, yeah, loop. I gotta rewatch it. But I felt like there were some fundamental concepts that were important here, but it's too early to be introducing Firebase into this. But it works. You can make it work. It's just rough. Okay, what is it? It's 4 days. And you do deploy, right? And it's not actually building a mobile app. It's building basically the mobile version of a website. Oops. Build a mobile app. Okay, that's a deploy. Oh, did you? Nice. Okay. In your introduction. That's pretty cool. Is that your first introduction? Oh yeah, you haven't really typed in chat. Okay, cool. I feel like a lot of these don't need 5 days. Is this just a max deadline? It is a max deadline. So it depends on how much time you need to spend with it, but this is my own experience running my own cohort with the schedule. Scrimba requires more time than what they list on their website. They just do for the average person. Like even me running through it, I took longer with a lot of these because I run through all this to make sure that I really knew what they were learning and any kind of like gotchas or anything like that. And it took me a little bit longer typically than the time that they listed. To actually stop to do the challenges, all the challenges, like it does add up. Okay. But if you're spending about 10 hours per week and we're meeting an hour and a half per week, yeah, this about adds up correctly. I think so. Yeah, it does. I forgot we're meeting an hour and a half. I was just trying to account for that. So it's like 8.5 hours towards Scrimba stuff. This is for like if you could dedicate 10 hours per week on the side of your job or whatever else you have. So build an NFT website. No self-deploy. And this is 2 hours, 12 minutes. 4 days. Got to keep in mind, they're not just working on it for like several hours each day. It's like usually they're dedicating like maybe an hour a day or something like that. Or like a 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Build an NFT site. That is not going to have a self-deploy. And remember, the projects themselves, I'm saying they're working on it for an hour and a half each day. Unit converter, I think, is an overestimation, but all of these, really good estimations. But unit converter doesn't have any stretch goals, I don't think. Seeing you go through the timelines for the project's challenges, I realize I lack the skills to estimate the development time for personal projects. But you do. Like, you really do at kind of an entry level. And you got to keep in mind, like, this is just practicing. This is just running through people, or running people through my cohort to actually get a good sense of how long it takes them, too. How long it takes people that are much faster, how long it takes people that are much slower. So, you know, it's hard for me to even estimate this, but the only reason I could do that is because we tried it. Yeah, Mobek, I would even say, I'm going to delete your message in introduction because it's kind of out of place. Feel free to do it in like Showcase Project if you want to showcase your blackjack game. Feel free to do that and do it in a Showcase Project. That's a good observation, B. Thank you. Oh, but I'm not proud of the project. Oh, okay. NFT. What? Okay, I'm like, okay. Oh, this is not a self-deploy. We move on. CSS fundamental challenges. 1 hour, 6 minutes. This is a fun one. 1 hour, 6 minutes. 2 days. You know what I was kind of disappointed with? The CSS grid section of this. That we're gonna come to that later. What do they call it? CSS fundamentals challenges. There's no deploy, but then there's a personal project. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Merge. Oldagram. I don't think I'm leaking anything from Scrimba. I think this is all visible, right? I probably should have checked that. I don't want to leak anything. Oh yeah, all this is visible. Okay, just popped a new incognito tab just to check. I could showcase what I do at my job instead. That's much more complex and cool. As long as you're not leaking anything. I mean, yeah, it's completely up to you. We were just saying the post of your blackjack game, it was like really out of place in the intro. But I'm glad you did provide an intro. Finally introduce yourself, you know? All right. Okay. So I'm now here. I did Oldagram. Now we go to build a co-working space site, 1 hour and 10 minutes. 2 days. That does not have a self-deploy. Let me close some of these other things, because this is a lot of open tabs. Close that, close that, close that. Then we're going to close module 2, module 1, and then start closing module 3. Okay, close module 3, module 4. We just got done with that. Co-working space site. No self-deploy. Now we work on module 5. So it's module 2 or 4. Okay, module 5. JavaScript world again. So 1 hour. 1 hour, 51 minutes. That's 3 days. The world's most annoying cookie consent. Is this a self-deploy or deploy? Nope. All right. So now pumpkins. And by the way, if you guys have questions or blockers about becoming a web dev, feel free to ask in chat. We're just building out. I'm kind of just solidifying the timeline in terms of the curriculum for the one-on-one mentorship program I'm offering. But all right. And also, if you're not sure about the program, you're like, it could be for me, it could not. We'll have a 30-minute conversation to make sure of that initially, too. So if you do sign up, it's not like you're committing to anything. Because I think people are going to have questions, and you're welcome to email me or whatever. That's fine. Because I think a mentorship, like a one-on-one mentorship relationship, it needs to work for both sides. And I like that initial conversation to see if it does. Okay, so we have 1 hour or 2 hours. It's a big one. 2 hours, 46 minutes, 5 days. Is this a self-deploy? What do you mean? Actually, it's a deploy. I don't know why I call it a self-deploy. It's a deploy. But basically, you're just pushing it to GitHub and then deploying it to Netlify. Okay. No deploy. I should just say deploy. All right, so Twimba, Twitter clone, that's 229. Gotta drink more water. Is this a deploy? Yes. Close that. All right. Ooh, this one's a long one. Mini projects, 3 hours and 30 minutes. This is where I gave my cohort hell. Let's see. 6 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Merged. JS mini projects. Is there any deploy? We haven't had a group project in a while. I just want to make sure I'm not skipping it. So we have... Oh, no, it is. So it's CSS fundamentals. Yeah, it's been a while. Oh, yeah, there is a big space between the solo projects. Okay. Essential JS mini projects. I could... Well, never mind. I was going to say I could do it a little bit faster if I did this a different way, but I think I'm fine with this. Okay, so we have essential JS mini projects. And then no deploy. But we have the restaurant ordering app. Okay. We're done with JavaScript land again. We're diving into responsive design. 1 hour 59. Four days. This is a deploy. One hour, 11 minutes. 2 days. Build a product splash page. This is a deploy. CSS grid is not a deploy. Again, I'm not a fan of, I think Kevin taught this one. I think Kevin is a good teacher. He moved too fast. There needs to be way more challenges in this section. So that's going to be another tricky one and making sure I reinforce the concepts. Okay, so this is going to be 1 hour, 40 minutes, 3 days. CSS grid, the ultimate layout tool. Okay, no deploy there. And then we have our learning journal project, which is a solo project. Okay, we're getting there. So we're into month 4. You can start to see, like, this is for 10 hours a week. Like, there's a lot more to do than you realize. And I think a lot of people that, rush through their education, they skipped a lot of foundational stuff, a lot of foundational concepts. All right, so learning journal. So, I think I want to skip some sections of Scrimba that I don't think are that relevant. Like they have the code review section next. But it is, oh. Well, I think this belongs before the capstone. I think this comes a little bit too early. If we're going to have a group project in here, or a solo project. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to take maybe a 3-minute break. I'm going to grab some more water, and we'll come back and keep chugging along. We're going to be live streaming for a little bit, so if a question does pop up of like becoming a web developer, feel free to ask in chat. But we're making some progress with this. I like it. But we're going to have to readjust if this doesn't really line up with until the end of month 7. That's true, Don. I have lots of foundational gaps to fill in and need to strengthen. It's good. Like, it's awesome that you're humble enough to realize that, though. A lot of people, they'll just be like, oh, I'm not going back and learning. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to learn React to build React projects and get a job. It's like, and then those people end up giving up on becoming a front-end developer because no one hires them because they suck with CSS and JavaScript. So humility is key. But yeah, that's awesome. Gee. All right, give me just a few minutes. I'll be right back. Yo, what's up? We are back. All right. All right, let's do it. Let me see where we are with the playlist, because I think it's going to run out soon. Yeah, let me go ahead and load up our custom playlist. Okay, so we have a shuffle. We could probably turn it up a bit. That's good, right? Let me know if you want me to turn it up more. I have to head off for a team call. Have a great weekend, everyone. All right, thanks for joining us, B. Have a great weekend. All right, here we go. So we have Learning Journal. We're skipping code reviews. We're going to come back to that. We're going to piece things together a little bit. Intro to API and board bot. Okay, that's 1 hour, 4 minutes. Bum, bum, bum. Wait, whoop. 2 days. Okay, intro to APIs and board bot. That's not a self-deploy. Then we have, is this a, oh, solo project, okay. So URLs and rest and blog space. We're gonna do 1 hour, 58 minutes. 4 days. Okay. And then there is a solo project. Color scheme generator. Async and JavaScript War. That has a solo project. May you repeat the price of the mentorship one more time? My router decided to restart. Oh no. It's essentially, if you're going to be doing it for 9 months, $500 a month. If you want to speed it up, it's going to be a little bit more per month, but you're not paying as many months. And then if you want to do it less, it's going to be or if you want to do it like 6 hours per week, it's going to be less than 500. That is an estimate, but it's probably a fairly accurate estimate. So, but I really want to talk to the individual to figure out like what makes sense for the type of mentorship they need. And so that's why I'm not locking in a specific price. But I would say the estimate is about 500 per month if you want to complete this in about 9 months. And if you can only dedicate about 10 hours per week to it. Async JavaScript War. Okay, yeah, no deploy. I gotta do this again. 2 hours, 27 minutes. And let me know if the music is too loud. I think it's okay. It looks okay, but sometimes it's reaching. It's a tiny bit loud. We could probably turn it down slightly. Okay. 4 days. Async JavaScript and War. Okay, that's good. No deploy, but then we have a solo project. Movie watch list. And of course, if you, like a lot of people just kind of have questions that are tailored to their situation, if you just want to reach out to me, you want to DM me on Discord or email me with more questions about the technical mentorship, like feel free to. Yeah, there are a lot of comments I don't respond to on YouTube, so it's probably best to DM me or email me if you have any questions. Or just ask while we're still live, that's fine too. Promise, rejection, and capstone. Okay, that is 2 hours, 4 minutes. That's 4 days. Okay, no deploy. And then we are out of working with APIs. So now learn UI design. I want to look through it because I don't think it makes sense to learn this right now. Design challenge. I think this makes sense to learn it before your capstone. I think, yeah, we're going to skip this for now and come back to it. React basics. Here we go. React. Hoo-hoo. All right. They go into quite a bit of depth with React. All right, so this is build a React site. This is a deploy. 2 hours, 47 minutes. 2 hours, 47 minutes. 5 days. This is going to be a deploy. Okay, I want to make sure that I haven't missed any. Oh, solo project. Yeah. So digital business card. Whew. All right. Digital business card. Let me make sure, based on my other schedule, that I didn't miss anything. Color scheme generator. So we have the CSS fundamentals, and then we have the restaurant ordering app for the JavaScript stuff and URLs. Then we have this, then we have the learning journal. Then we have the color scheme generator. Okay. And then movie watch list. React basics, and then we have the digital business. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so this is a deploy. We have the solo project. Oh, wait. Deploy your React. Okay, so this is not a deploy. You just deploy the solo project. Okay, now we can move on from that. Right? Deploy. It says deploy your React app with Mentorship. I'm guessing it means the solo project. Otherwise, you would deploy the other app at first. Okay, so build an Airbnb experiences clone. All right, let's go. Build an Airbnb experiences clone. That is not a deploy, but there's a solo project of travel journal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot of people including me, found doing challenges on Frontend Mentor on the side very helpful to reinforce what you learn. Nice. Yeah, a lot of people recommend Frontend Mentor to reinforce concepts. I haven't extensively checked it out. There are a lot of good solutions out there. There really are. It's just piecing them all together, you know? Okay, so that's the experiences clone. Now we have to build a meme generator. This thing's huge. What the fuck? It's not a solo project, though. Get memes from API. Okay. Oh, let me close that. Meme generator. Yeah, okay. So meme generator doesn't have a solo project. 5 hours and 26 minutes. That's crazy. By the way, I'm just going to periodically keep saying it. I know it's probably annoying, but if you have any web dev questions, any blockers, feel free to ask in chat. We are working on this, but I'm happy to answer questions. Usually when we kind of get focused on one topic, people are like, can I ask a question? And yes, you can. 9 days. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Build a meme generator. Basically provide you with the designs for small projects at different levels and you choose how to solve them. A lot of them are free. Yeah. I saw that. All right. But yeah, I did see at least that. But it's, you know, I've always talked about like just taking a design, just taking a Photoshop mockup and just converting it to an actual website is good practice for reinforcing a lot of your CSS fundamentals. Okay, no deploy on this. 5 hours and 26 minutes. That's a long 9 days. That's crazy. Build a notes app in 10Z games. So this is okay. Is this a deploy? No, but it's a solo project. 3 hours and 4 minutes. Built a notes app and 10Z's games. Okay. And then we're going to do the solo project, which is Quizzical. We could probably bring this down, right? I probably should have moved it a while ago, to be honest. You're going to show Firebase something similar so the devs can have a DB in their project? Yes, Firebase is introduced here, for sure. Oh, what's up, Anthony? How you doing? Okay, so I think we're done with this section. Close that. We're done with the React basics. Now advanced React. Reusability. Frontend Mentor does that. They provide the designs, asset, and style guide. You build with the HTML. Yeah. Let's see. Yep, pretty cool way to reinforce some concepts. I like it. Reusability. There's a solo project. There's no deploy. Okay, so this is going to be a big one. 4 hours, 59 minutes. 8 days. Reusability. It's a great site for devs who want to build but don't want to design. As long as you have full rights to use the design, if that's what you're saying. Do they give you full rights to copy the design for your own app? I mean, I understand it for practice, but are they actually... Do you have the full rights to use that design for your application that you're going to put on your portfolio? Okay, so this is going to be component library. Don't know what the plus plus means. Orange. Only if you pay to get the design, but I paid and it was the most useful resource for me. Oh, okay, that's cool. Shouldn't use it on your portfolio because many people have the exact thing on yours. Well, for the design. Yeah, I think a lot of people can just lean into a very minimalist design. I think a lot of people overthink the design. And every front-end developer can create a minimalist design. Give them credit for the design. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, as long as you're doing the appropriate attribution or paying for it, but that's fine. I think it's okay to reuse designs, but like Mobac, like you said, you know, your project is going to look like 100 other developers that are probably applying for the same position potential. Well, 100 is high, but you know, they're going to see that design quite a bit. And it's like, it's going to make that hiring manager think a bit like, okay, this is probably just a tutorial-based project or something like that. I think it's worth creating your own design, even if you're bad at it. I'm good. The wife, kid, and I are having pretty bad allergies right now. Oof, that's rough. Spring is coming. That is... Yep, spring is coming. Okay, so we have React Router. It's such a big section. It's so huge. Holy shit. There is no project. So here's the thing. We are going to... I almost want to introduce the capstone project. This is making me rethink. I don't think the performance section for advanced React is something that new developers really need to dive into. Yeah, using like React memo, code splitting, lazy suspense, recursive rendering. Oof. I feel like this comes later. Let's do this. So component library, we're going to do React Router. So React Router is 6 hours, 30 minutes. 11 days. Okay. All right. 11 days. React Router 6. Okay, so we essentially have this amount of space to work with. Here's what we're going to do. We'll get to that in a second. Let me catch up with chat. With React 19, the compiler will take care of most of what you mentioned anyways. Okay. Oh, in terms of the advanced concepts and the Scrimba section. I do have to dig a little bit more into the React compiler. I've kind of just briefly looked at it. What would you say is the hardest part of developers learning front-end development? It's... I don't know. I don't know if it's the hardest. That's really hard to come up with. But I would say like a really difficult part is switching between CSS and JavaScript and understanding like usually a front-end developer likes CSS or they like JavaScript. They usually don't like both equally. And it's going through the parts that you don't like. I don't think that's the hardest part necessarily, but that's something that just came to mind. I always forget. This is a song in my playlist. I just want to make sure it's royalty free so I don't get marked on YouTube. Yeah, it is. Interesting. Okay. I like it. It's interesting, but... yeah, this sounds like a royalty free song, honestly. Okay, so here's what we do. We are done. So they have the entire getting hired section. I'm not going to run them through that. I have my own course for that. Using LinkedIn to get a job. Nah, we're skipping that. Front-end job interview tips. No. Well, I don't think my course is necessarily going to have, like... it's going to have interview tips, but it's not going to go over interview questions. I'm a true believer in, like, having a solid foundation. And then you could look up, like, some interview questions for React or JavaScript. I don't... because those can change. Like, if you have a solid foundation, you're good. But I do like the JavaScript interview challenges. That I'm probably going to include. And then the React interview questions. Again, like, none of that really concerns me that much. There are tons of lists that you can look up online. But I think the JavaScript interview challenges, I'm probably going to have to supplement with more data structure heavy stuff. And I think that'll be good. Asynchronous code is tricky. Modular, yeah, modular, yeah. Are you talking about like setting the type to modular or module? That is something that kind of that tripped me up more when I was already a JavaScript developer, and then I had to deal with that. Is the capstone project something they choose? I hated how my bootcamp had us. Yep, 100%. It's tailored. So essentially, the capstone project, I'm treating it like the capstone project for the cohort. The capstone project is essentially like, we need to figure out what the hell you want to build. And we could probably tailor to your old industry. Now you're getting a dev job in the industry. That is an option. But like, now you have a lot of skills. You have enough skills to be dangerous, to build anything, almost anything. What do you want to build? Obviously, it's, you know, when I say build anything, you know, it's build maybe the basic version of anything. But now that you can build shit, what do you want to build? And it's digging into that, and it's getting them and literally talking them through to explore what the hell interests them in coding. What kind of problems do they want to solve? So it's very much tailored to them. They're going to come up with a project. I'm going to guide them through that. Then we build it. And I'm going to make sure that project is going to be competitive. I'm going to make sure that project we focus. I'm essentially a project manager and reviewing code. And I'm going to make sure that like the polished, the finished version of that project, it looks professional. Like if you're building a SaaS product, it has a landing page. It looks professional. It's a real, like it looks like a real professional project. So yeah, it's going to be tailored to what the person wants to build. But, you know, like if they're like, I want to build a game. Okay. Well, then we're going to have a realistic talk about like how many web developers are building games. And if that's your reality, you want to be faced with that reality, then okay, we could dive into some HTML5 canvas and I'll figure some shit out. But, you know, like, I think I'm going to highly encourage certain ideas to just, we're going to toss that one out. Because there are certain projects that I think do make sense, that are going to be relatable to a lot of employers, and that they can understand, okay, at least with the CTO, they can think of a project and like, okay, this is going to require this. I should ask, you know, this person how they implemented this, right? Yeah, a lot of difficult things. All right, so we will dive into, so I think it makes sense from here to dive into, we're going to go back. We're going to do learn UI design. That's an hour and 8 minutes. I think there are a lot of front-end developers that would really benefit from just getting a solid foundation with UX fundamentals. You'd be surprised how good of a design you can come up with just basic UX fundamentals and sticking to minimalist design. Intro to UI design. Build a simple layout. That's 37 minutes. It's probably going to be one day. Oops. So used to scrolling down. 0, 37. Yeah, one day. Yeah, I don't have to merge. Let's go ahead and do build a simple layout. And then we have a 45-minute session. 2 days. Okay. Full project refactoring. Okay. Full project refactoring. Mobile. I'm not sure what your type, like what's the context of those messages, Albert? Full project refactoring. Then we dive into, now I'm jumping around a bit, piecing it together. I want to see if they have a Redux section. Yeah, we already have responsiveness. I don't know if they actually go over CSS animations or not. I'm not concerned. I don't think CSS animations are a requirement for an entry-level developer. I think it's more of an interest. You get some exposure to it. But I think like simple effects, like simple on hover effects and being able to target pseudo classes and stuff like that, I think that is beneficial. Full project refactoring. Where is it? So it's code reviews. Solo project code review. Okay. Branching and pull requests with GitHub. I think it probably makes sense to go ahead and do code reviews. I think that's fine, just to get some exposure to it. Branching and pull requests with GitHub Desktop. I don't think doing the advanced React stuff makes sense, but I do think I would actually like to do... So here's how I have to figure out how to break this up. Do I want to jump into the project now? I think I do. Do I want to... I kind of want to look at their courses. I want to see if they have anything with Redux. That'd be disappointing if they don't. They do not. What are good resources? I'm kind of curious if anyone has any recommendations. What are good resources to learn Redux? Have you found any free ones? Or even paid? Or whatever. I think it's still worth the learning. It's used enough. I've learned about Redux on YouTube. Through what channel? Do you remember? To use Redux for the... Man, I think Redux is worth it. I want to look through some of their other courses. Good experiences with Free Code Camp for basics of Redux. Did that get you to a point where you were able to implement Redux into your React project or something like that? Indian guy's channel, there are so many videos out there about Redux. Okay. Free Code Camp Redux. I don't know. I see an article. Using their documentation, looking at example GitHub repos. Yeah, but that's not a common way. Okay, I see how you did it. That's not really a common way that's going to be a good fit for a lot of people. Got to remember, these are new developers. But yeah, I know you're just saying, like, that's how you did it. So that won't work. I think it shows you the integration with the... No, I don't think it shows you the integration with the app, though. Oh. I learned to utilize Redux for a React Native e-commerce app. Do you think you would have felt comfortable using Redux and tossing that into a React app? I think Redux needs to be a section. Do I just teach it? I don't know. I actually think it makes sense to build an application. You can implement Redux afterwards, honestly, and maybe that's the goal. It's like, then go back into your application and implement Redux. But it's like, Redux isn't needed for so many apps. It's just good to get practice with it, you know what I mean? I think this makes sense. Like this. And then we start the DSA portion. Oh, there is a short section that shows how to connect React app and Redux. Okay. Oh, for the free code camp. Gotcha. Okay. I'll have to look into it. Why do companies prefer Redux compared to built-in? A lot of companies just adapted Redux for older versions of React, and React has evolved. You're just... It's kind of... Yeah, it's kind of like seeing like an old version of Angular, which is... Oh, I wouldn't want to work. That'd be rough. But a lot of companies kind of just build an entire system based off of a certain state management. You know, like once it's built in, it's like all the developers know how to work with it. You continue with it, but it's, you know, it can be really good for debugging. Redux has a lot of other options, a lot of extra options for larger teams and larger applications that are just easier to work through. And, but yeah, a lot of Redux was adapted years ago by a lot of companies. Showing? What do you mean showing? I don't utilize Redux and React apps much because create content. Yeah, like, honestly, Redux, for all of your personal projects, like, you don't really need Redux, but you should learn it. I don't use Redux, use Stan and React Query, but from what I've heard, that use Reducer was inspired by Redux, so learning that might be easier to learn Redux. Interesting. Okay. That's one of those things. It's just about learning a marketable technology that a lot of companies have in their code base that they adopted a while ago, where it's just going to make you more marketable. But, like, is that the best tool for the job? Not necessarily. Oh, are you saying those sections don't cover it? Gee. What do you mean by good too? All right, so we have a capstone project. DSA. I think it makes sense to spend a month on that. I think a month is a good timeline. That's why I usually do like 4 weeks for my hackathon projects. You can produce quite a bit within a month. And then even if you're just dedicating like 10 hours per week. Yeah. So I think I then want to jump into... So after the capstone, I'm going to encourage them to work on a personal project on the side, but ultimately we are going to jump into JavaScript interview challenges. That's going to go... Um, 2 hours, 9 minutes, 4 days. JavaScript interview challenges. And I want to see if... Yeah, this is going to be... We're going to highlight something different. How about blue here? Blue here. JavaScript interview challenges. And then I want to do a little bit of data structures and... Well, data structures. Let me see if they have that. Right. Let's at least jump into like... So... What I essentially want to teach for front-end developers is... I definitely want front-end developers to be much more comfortable with what happens with the event loop with JavaScript. I want them to be comfortable with queues and stacks and a linked list and a binary search tree. Going over breadth first search, depth first search. I don't think introducing navigating like a graph. I think that's overkill, and I definitely don't think exposing them to interacting with a GraphQL API makes sense. I think that's overkill. It's not that difficult to learn. I think just interacting with a REST API makes sense. But you're gonna be... Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I think a lot of the JavaScript challenges that they're going over is going to be fine. But I think, like... Let me look through some of their courses. I got to figure out what to do, because I got to do this with my current cohort. Okay, so binary search and JavaScript. I love that. One hour and 3 minutes. Learn merge sort. Okay, array, splitting array view, queue. Oh, a queue cursor. Oh, these are good. Huh. What about object-oriented programming? For front-end, I don't think that's a big focus at all. But you are exposed to learning classes. And that reminds me, like, getting more comfortable with the prototype chain is important. Getting comfortable with how that essentially establishes what classes are in JavaScript is important. But working with classes and extending classes, I think that is important. If Scrimba doesn't dive a little bit deeper into that, I'll probably supplement. But like to get comfortable with object-oriented programming for a front-end developer, that should not be a focus. At least not like a major focus. So I think JavaScript deep dive, essential concepts, classes, man. So now we dive into. I would almost call this like, I'm gonna expand this to like a JavaScript deep dive. I like this. And I think I'm gonna play around with this. We're gonna go a little bit deep. So we're getting a break. We're doing a project. Now we're going through a JavaScript deep dive. And I don't think I'm gonna, I don't know. I want to go through some of this and see. Recursion is definitely something you should learn. I want to see what Scrimba covers with some of these other courses. Some conditionals. Yeah, see, some of this is just repetitive, and we can skip over it. Let me actually. We've been going for 3 hours, 40 minutes. Let's go. Let's spend about 15 minutes on this next section. Oh, sorry, it's on sort of a different topic when I said, oh, okay, gotcha. Recursive functions are fun to create when learning about binary search trees. They are hard to grasp when learning about them at first, but it's fun to see them in action. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Albert. Recursion is a really tricky concept for people to visualize. Will you dive into regex? No. You get some exposure to regex, but no. We're not teaching regex. Especially when it comes to state management across the app. Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, Redux it's a little heavy-handed, but it's still worth learning for marketability. Okay, so we have variables and variables and strings, types and conditionals, ternaries, shortcutting, all that is taught already. Functions, you should be comfortable with closure. I gotta see if that's introduced into the regular curriculum as I go through it more. Arrays, void mutations with array spread. Avoid mutations? Oh, yeah. Using array spread to avoid mutating the original array. I think that's a good strategy a lot of times. There are some useful concepts here. Array destructuring. Understanding the prototype chain. I'm liking it. Creating and modifying HTML elements, understand and work with events. Okay, yeah, some of this is repetitive. I think the classes section makes sense. Okay, so we're gonna do... Okay, JavaScript deep dive. Oh, it's literally deep dive, but it's gonna include a couple of other things outside this deep dive course. Recursion really gets my brain tangled. Yep, it does for a lot of people. It really does. It took me a while to just understand what the hell was happening with it. Types and conditionals. So short circuiting is taught. Functions. Do I count downwards using... I think I want to go over functions. So 1 hour and 3 minutes. Oh, we got to go up. 1 hour, 3 minutes. And then we're going to break this up. Functions.
Objects and maps, getting and modifying object data, object destructuring objects with object spread, how maps can do what objects can't. I think that's a good section, 128. Like, if I need to supplement and the course isn't taught very well, I can supplement. But it's going over the concepts I want to go over. 3, so... objects and maps. Oops. Arrays and sets, then goes over array destructuring. It does the array spread. Some of this is get subsets of arrays. Transform arrays with the reduce. Going over reduce again is never a bad thing. Mold arrays. And I don't think you really go over the spread operator too frequently. So in the normal section, so we're going to do 2 hours, 3 minutes. It's 4 to... Man, this is really starting to fill up. Fuck. Arrays and sets. Classes. 1 hour, 7 minutes. Functions are good. Yeah, bind and call are tricky. Yep. Default parameter, it does go over that a bit. I don't think it's too tricky. It's a good thing to know for sure. Oh, there's so much. I could really build on this. Holy shit. It's gonna lengthen the program, but like I need to think of a minimum. Is TypeScript something that should be required for front-end developers? No. Will it make you more marketable? Yes. That's the same with Redux. Is Redux required? No. Will it make you more marketable? Yes. And I almost think like TypeScript is starting to become a little bit more important than Redux, and then SCSS is starting to become a little bit more important. SCSS is still really common. Oh. I gotta think of a minimum. Let me keep going with this. DOM, nope, ignoring that. Async JavaScript, make network, nope, that's already done. Google Keep Clone, editing nodes, changing. No, we could skip that. Essential concepts, we could probably... How reducers help manage state. I'm just gonna pull this up real quick. You're literally building a mini version of Redux. This is actually pretty good. Damn! That's actually pretty good. Share app code with modules. This is a good section. This is a really good section. Fuck. All right. I'm trying to save time, but this is a really good section. 3 days. I feel like Redux isn't important. I'd probably be better to do things the vanilla React way, but it is for marketability because the companies still use it. It's very important. Just because you have a preference to do it the vanilla React way doesn't mean you're not going to get stuck with a code base that like has Redux in it, right? Or it has their own custom version of Redux in it. There are benefits to having that, and it can be heavy-handed for some apps, but there are benefits to it. But it's in terms of marketability. It's very important. Essential concepts. But again, it's just like, you wish you could be exposed to a very modern code base, and that's not always the case. You want to go like very modern code base and be able to ditch some of these concepts, like go Startup World, for sure. No, okay, I think that's fine for now. We're going to go into more courses. And I want to see what I can fit in here. Honestly, introduction to ES6, destructuring, no, all those concepts we go over. Introduction to unit testing, fuck, it's so good. All right, I actually, what I have to do is, so it's probably going to be mixed with this. My job hunting course isn't going to take a long time. Like a lot of this stuff isn't going to take a long time. We're going to be able to mix a job hunting course and DSA practice and whatever else we need. But I think it actually makes sense right now to, where is it? Go. Come on. We're going all the way down to getting hired, and we're going to do JavaScript interview challenges. That's going to be 2 hours, 9 minutes. 4 days. JavaScript interview challenges, which don't go heavy into the data structures. Oh boy, but here's where we could start breaking up. We get some exposure here. Here's where we start breaking up some of this. Okay. Well, you know... When I tried Scrimba 2 years ago, each lesson was quick and shallow for me. They might have changed since then. No, there's a lot of depth into it that I saw. Maybe they did change. I don't know. I think they're fairly new, too. That could have been the case. But I think like really diving into these projects and then getting code reviews and having someone walk you through some of that is what's going to reinforce a lot. But yeah, this is in-depth. What we're building right now is very in-depth. Comparable to $20,000 coding boot camps in terms of the depth of front-end knowledge, but there still needs to be more that's added. Fuck. So here's the things I want to introduce. I want to see if I have time to do it. Learn binary search. So give me linked lists. Why are you jumping into binary search without linked lists? Give me linked lists. I'm going to look at the courses. So we can actually, you know what I could do? I could just show you my screen. Courses. All courses. Yeah, let's just do that so you guys can see what I'm doing. I agree. For Redux, it's useful to learn, but you probably don't need it anymore unless the code base already uses it. Yeah, that's the reality. That's why I'm almost hesitant on teaching Redux. There is a section on where is it? It's in one of these, I think, essential concepts where you build your own mini Redux, and I think that's a valuable practice. But you essentially kind of like introduce a reducer into your project to manage state. That's interesting. So I think TypeScript is going to be more important to learn, but it's still not required. My mentor at the time was a former employee at Scrimba. He recommended it. It's a Norwegian company. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how it was 2 years ago. I'm interested in like hearing that. Sounds like they've put some work into it since then. But I do feel like I have to supplement, even with their front-end developer career path. We're going through different courses. So, Advanced React, no. Learn accessible web design, no. Learn Firebase, maybe. Because I would encourage you to probably look at Firestore instead of real-time Firebase database. Because that's probably a little bit more typical of, like, for a non-relational database, what you're going to use. Real-time database is probably more for, like, a chat app or something like that. JavaScript deep dive. So, introduction to unit testing. Here's what I might do. I might do a little bit of learning while you're doing the project. I think that's how we do this. What do you guys think? If you guys are seeing anyone, don't even say Tailwind. You do not need to learn Tailwind. Do not say Tailwind. You look into your local area. If there are a lot of Tailwind jobs, fine. Or front-end jobs that learn Tailwind, but no. And that's how it is with just CSS frameworks and libraries in general. It's like, do you see a lot of these positions in your local area? Okay, maybe we should build a project with this and learn it, right? Styled components is another thing. There's so much to add. Class components, I think, is still worth learning. Merge sort. Binary search in JavaScript. Maybe CSS animations. It's an extra thing. Introduction to unit testing. Figma. Markdown, no. Only cool kids code in Tailwind? Oh, yeah. Let me catch up. What if you leave it up to the student and let them pick a topic to learn? I like that. I don't think that's silly. I think that's a great idea. I think there are certain topics that they need to learn regardless. Like CSS animations could be, but I really like that idea. I really like that idea. Unit testing requirement. Set up Jasmine from scratch. Jasmine, okay. Mocks, additional matchers. I think it would make sense to write tests for your React components. But I think getting exposure... I think this is fine. Because you can write tests for a lot of your utility functions and business logic and stuff. Unit testing. Okay, here's what we do. I don't think there is like a linked list or data structures. And that is unfortunate. Yeah, I don't think so. So we probably need a couple days, maybe a few days to learn a linked list. I don't know what that's going to be. So JavaScript interview challenges, then like we need something like this. And then we need learn binary search. Because you're already going over stacks and queues within this, right? So I think a binary search, would you want binary search versus a merge sort? I think it makes sense to learn a binary search tree, then learn merge sort. Let's go over... What's the total for this? Ah, crap, we gotta go back to here. CSS variables, that's pretty important. How supported is CSS variables? Wow. Yeah, 0 support for IE11. Usage is still down, but... I don't think it is that important. It's semi-important. Yeah, it's pretty important. I think that's a good description for it. It's pretty important. It's possible to pick up Tailwind on the fly. I agree. You could pick up any CSS library or framework after you have a solid foundation of CSS or JavaScript. Man, I'm starting to lose my voice. Might have to... Let's go. Let's max it out at 430. TypeScript should be required, in my opinion. If it isn't already, it's crucial. I don't think it's crucial. Not enough companies have adopted it. I think crucial is the wrong word for it. I think it's important. I think it's more, it'll make you more marketable. I like the idea of creating a reducer to manage state. I don't think you necessarily need to learn Redux. I think it'd benefit you in marketability, but I do think TypeScript is more important than learning Redux specifically, but it's less important than writing tests in terms of marketability. So if we expanded this out to like 12 months, I would include a lot of this for sure. But if I had to try to make it work within 9 months, 10 hours a week, I would definitely... I still think it is worth learning TypeScript. I don't think it's crucial, but I think it's very, very much up there. And in fact, even with a unit testing tutorial, it just feels lackluster. I'd love to be able to create some tests. But also create some tests for our React components specifically. I think it probably makes sense to have a React testing library course. Okay, so learn merge sort and learn binary search. Oh, 1 hour and... Okay, so binary search... It does have the time. I just missed it. 1 hour, 3 minutes. So linked list. Binary search trees. And these could be introduced at different periods, like whenever we meet. I'm just stacking them up here. But merge, sort. It's probably going to be 2 days, right? 1 hour, 4 minutes. 1 hour, 3 minutes. Yeah, okay. The unit testing, I think, needs to be introduced sooner. I think during the capstone is where we start putting some of this. It's going to be lighter on the learning, for sure, because I really want like 90% of the time to be dedicated towards this. But, because I think the intro to UI design and build a simple layout and stuff will give them more confidence that they can build something that looks decent before they dive into the project. It's interesting to see the difference between difference from country to country. In my country, Norway, almost every JavaScript requires TypeScript. Oh yeah, I can see that being a difference. I think TypeScript is becoming more widely adopted, and I would argue maybe in 3-6 months, like TypeScript is crucial, as Matt describes. I just seen so many dev jobs where TypeScript wasn't a requirement. So many JavaScript positions where TypeScript wasn't a requirement. I need to see more job postings with TypeScript. Let me see that, and I'll change my mind. But I think it makes sense to introduce it here. I don't want to introduce TypeScript during the Capstone project. There's no way in hell. I think I'm going to recommend topics to continue following up with, because the plan essentially is to continue pushing forward with your education. You never stop learning. So I think TypeScript is going to be an addition. TypeScript, like Redux, SCSS, styled components. Because I actually think it makes sense during this capstone for whatever portion we actually bring the unit testing tutorial 1 hour 26. 3 days. Unit testing tutorial. And then something with like maybe React, maybe custom React testing library. Because there are other things we could shove through here and we could expand this, right? We could do something like this. Let's go ahead and expand this to here. Actually, merge, extend this down to here. Boom. Whoops, I just need to do this. Merge. Okay. So I can expand this. I think learning testing, I think we need like a real conversation. I got to figure out where to put that in, but of like how to plan this out. We're going to do a little project planning, but that's probably going to just be during our sessions. Maybe that's like the first, maybe we just like hash it out for an hour, a couple hours, like 2 1-hour sessions or 2 45-minute sessions, hash it out, plan the project. I think that makes sense. TS could be overwhelming for those that struggle with JS already. My opinion, it is. B-Club, I 100% agree with you, and I've seen it all too often. TS is heavy. A lot of people that are now comfortable with TS, I think they failed to get themselves into a junior developer's mind and going back into it brand new. TypeScript is heavy for new developers. It is not easy to learn. And I don't agree with people that are undersell that. No Redux? We went over all that. But we're essentially going to be building a custom reducer, and Redux is going to be kind of an addition. I don't think you need to learn Redux. It is a nice to have. A TypeScript is going to be more important. Unit testing and just writing tests for your front-end applications is going to be much more important than TypeScript. TypeScript comes second, then Redux, then I would even... No. Hold on. SCSS, Redux. We'll do style components, and then Redux with where React is right now. I think it's beneficial and marketable to learn Redux. I think it's lower on the list, though. Yeah, I don't know about CSS variables. CSS animations are variables. We could continue going through some of that, but I think, as Mary said, I thought that was a really good idea, but giving people a choice to learn. Whoops. What did I do? Let them pick. I think that's where this section comes in. And if they want to learn CSS animations, whatever, I think that makes sense. Is there no audio? There is audio. It is just you. TypeScript was difficult to read as hell. It requires a dev to be comfortable with data structures. But yeah, I guess fundamental data structures. It's very hard to read. It takes a while. You got to get used to it. And it does get easier. But it is hard. And I think learning TypeScript initially is a horrible idea for JavaScript developers. It's a horrible idea. It almost always goes bad. It's always way more difficult than it needs to be. I think picking up TypeScript after you have a solid foundation with JavaScript makes sense. You gotta, like, it really helps to know what TypeScript is fixing. It's why you don't want to jump into React right away when you're trying to become a front-end developer. You want to really get a solid foundation of JavaScript and building more projects and having the complexity kind of become unscalable and messy and disorganized, right? And then React fixes that. That's a really cool introduction into React. Generics, oof, that syntax and concept tripped me up for a bit. I don't even know what generics are in TypeScript. I'm assuming you're talking about TypeScript. I actually don't. I've probably been picking up TypeScript over the past month. I do like it. I actually do like it. But it's like, even for me, it's not a smooth process learning TypeScript. Okay. Gotcha. Isn't that kind of just like building your own custom model of what it should be? Is that all you're saying? With generics? Same, but it's rather simple. I wish people would give a simple explanation before trying to fully explain. Oh, with generics? In a way? Okay, well, I'm almost there. Probably should look that up after this stream. Custom linked list, binary search trees, merge sort. But then it's like, do we go over event loop? Right? So, because I think queues and stacks are introduced, but getting more comfortable with the JavaScript event loop, I think, is healthy. Recursion. we should do recursion. Custom recursion, if we don't already. What else am I missing for front-end developers? Can you guys think of anything else that you think I'm missing? These are going to be extra concepts to learn on the side. It's just going to extend the program. I think it makes you more marketable, but I don't think it's necessary. But I think TypeScript probably needs to be introduced a little bit. I don't know. You give a generic type and give the type later on. Gotcha. Okay, whatever goes into the function is the type that comes out. Oh. That feels like two generic, or two different descriptions. Functions that take a function where the type is passed in from what you use. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Oh, for fetch APIs. Gotcha. So essentially, it's flexible to allow a different data structure based on the API changing? Is that a use case for it, or am I off? They take a type, not a function. Oh. Okay. Sounds like it's something I need to look into. Binaries. Okay. Recursion. Event loop. Okay. Can I spell this correctly? All right. Event loop. I think the fetch APIs is saying something that front end needs to learn. Oh, okay. Gotcha. It goes over front. Okay. Fetch. It does go over fetch. I actually, I think I'm tossing Axios out of my projects. I'm probably just leaning on fetch. I don't think there's any reason to have Axios. But yeah, fetch is important. You can use it with any type, and it's able to infer the type for the data you use with a function. Okay. We'll have to look into it more. I think that's good. so far, like, I think that's a really good rough draft of this. I have the unit testing tutorial. I got to find a React testing library tutorial. Let them pick something to learn. I think that's a great strategy. And I almost think that maybe the unit testing should come at the end, right? Where they have some code and now they can practice it. That actually is a good idea. How do I move these? I don't think I can. Okay, I think I do this. Merge. Her. Or just give them a break from learning shit. Honestly. And then do unit testing at the end. Give them just a chance to just dive deep into their project. I think either that or, yeah, I think that's the, or give them a break from course material. Would you recommend books, topics to get into towards the end? What do you mean? Generically, would I recommend like books to get into or something like that? What do you mean? I haven't started TypeScript yet, but when I look at the syntax, it gives me JS with a C++ variable defining. Okay. I mean, if you have a previous programming background with a similar syntax, you might find it pretty good or easier to learn. For me, state management is hard. Ever since I started Context API and have a job assignment and they asked to use Redux for filtering functionality. I don't know how to do it. Any tips would be helpful. Just get a good course tutorial and build something with it. That's the answer. That's how it is with different concepts. Like lead on ChatGPT to help build that out. Black. I don't know. I don't think I would recommend any books. No, I don't think you have to pick up any specific books or anything like that. But these are the topics towards the end. I'm back getting my nails done, so I will be in and out of chat. Okay, jeez. Sounds good, Sinka. Do you think having projects be more open-ended in terms of their requirements and tech outcome risks students falling into their safe zones being less well-rounded? I don't think I fully understand the question. Risk students falling into their safe zone. So, like, if you don't have harder requirements, will students kind of, like, just provide easier requirements for themselves? Is that what you're asking? Because if that's the case, will they be less rounded? I don't know if being less rounded has anything to do with it, but they could cushion themselves to not challenge themselves enough. I think open-ended projects and closed-ended projects with stricter requirements, both are good in your learning journey. That's why the capstone needs to be very open-ended. But a lot of these projects are a little bit more closed with their requirements, and it's just reinforcing the concepts that you're learning, which I think is a good idea. I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else to add. And in fact, I think before we even dive into linked lists, I think going into event loop up here makes more sense. Oops. Whew, man. That's it. I think we got it. This is how we make 9 months worth of a front-end curriculum for 10 hours a week. Whew. I'll scroll through it. I don't think I'm gonna post this spreadsheet, but I'll just scroll through it so you can kind of see it again. Anyone watching this video later, like I said, I'm offering a mentorship program on the side of this with a lot of code reviews, pair programming, being able to answer questions. Basically, just self-taught with a mentorship mixed in for 9 months. On average, if you're spending about 10 hours per week for $500 a month. That price will fluctuate based on your specific needs. But I think that's pretty good. Will I change some of this down the road? Potentially, yeah. Obviously, this is going to evolve. But as this already has evolved by me going through my experimental front-end cohort, and they're still going through it, and if I find that they're tripping up over certain stuff, or they need... or they just go through some stuff a little bit too easy, you know, I can switch that up. It's a lot. I would not be able to learn a fraction of it with 10 hours per week. You would be able to learn this with 10 hours a week. You absolutely would. Go back. Like, my students have easily been able to do that. Sometimes it just helps to have a good mentor, and I would expand this. Like, if you're doing this on your own, I would definitely expand this. I wouldn't expect this to be 9 months. This is like a year and a half. No, you don't. I'm telling you, the students have been great. They've been able to, they've been just fine with it. But like, when you learn better, I mean, everyone has different learning habits. Like if you feel like you're a little bit of a slower learner, or like even some initial concepts are just trickier, like you might just want to take more time on that. Right? That's why it's like we can expand the 10 hours to 20 hours per week, 30 hours per week, 40 hours per week. It will speed it up. But when you have a mentor with a self-taught path, this is what happens. It speeds it up. That's the reality. I would expand this out to about a year and a half, honestly. Probably about a year and a half, up to a year and a half, if you were to do this on your own. And you are more than welcome to dive into this. And hell, if you just want to pick up the job hunting course that I build, it's going to be cheaper than $500, I would imagine. But there's a lot more tied to this. You could just do all this through Scrimba on your own, and then buy the course for cheaper. And if you are very resourceful and you want to extend the time, go for it. But yeah, I want to provide this so people can see, like, essentially, I want to create a fairly realistic timeline. And you could go through Scrimba. Like, if you look at Scrimba, you can literally dig into what the specific modules are. If we go into, I don't know, build a mobile app with Firebase, you could just go through here and learn all the free stuff and supplement it if you want. Take a bit longer supplementing than the year and a half, but that's okay. That's it. Oh, this is a long live stream to hash all this out. Ugh. I appreciate you guys hanging out, providing your insight as I kind of build this out. Any final insight? What do you think of this? Anything? Any final comments on it? Even if I've disagreed with it in the past. I think I might want to introduce types. I have to decide if I want to introduce TypeScript. I think CSS variables, if I don't teach SCSS, makes sense. But TypeScript, maybe. TypeScript feels like something extra to learn. I feel like this is... Here, I'm just going to say, like, extra. Good stream. I think the curriculum looks great. Thank you. TypeScript is a yes, in my opinion. Okay. Should you add a buffer to let yourself extend a lesson if needed? There already is a... We could... I mean, there can be a buffer. We could slow it down. We could pause. And... Like, we could just take a day break if we need to, a 2-day break or something like that. That's fine. Like that, it's very flexible for something like that when there's only one person in. Yeah, that's doable. But each of these actually overestimates slightly how much time it's going to take. Because, like, you know, we're doing like 25-minute sessions. It recommends like a whole day. You know what I mean? So it overestimates slightly to allow for a bit of a buffer. Will you dive into React framework, or are you teaching with something like Vite and separate dependencies? Oh, React, 100% React. We have an entire React section. It goes from React Basics from here for going into month 5 all the way to React Router to month 7. TypeScript is popping up in job listings a lot that I've been seeing. Yeah, it's popping up in more job listings. It's still... I don't know. We could do another... I can do another sweep. It still should be shoved towards the end of your curriculum. But I think expanding your timeline to accommodate TypeScript, and, you know, if it isn't in my curriculum, I'm going to recommend they learn it on the side, which they're going to be capable of learning. I can include it in the curriculum if they want, but it's... I'm actually curious. Is there something with TypeScript? Learn TypeScript, 3 hours and 14 with Anya. Don't know who that is, but maybe that could fit into here. It certainly can. I don't think it makes sense I don't care that they use TypeScript, or they shouldn't use TypeScript for the first capstone project. But I think, like, honestly, maybe if we did 3 hours... I don't want to do heavy learning because they're already doing a job hunting course. I got to see how this goes. But it would probably take, if we did 3 hours, what is it? Like 3 hours and... 58 minutes. What was it? It was 3 hours and what? 14 minutes. 6 days. Like, we could fit that into here. I would expand it to 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And then maybe I would say refactor your project in TypeScript or build a new project in TypeScript. I think a refactor makes sense. You don't have to worry about multiple problems at once. Maybe TypeScript. Somewhere in here. I got to expand it out to 12 days if I do something like that. Learn TypeScript. And we'll just specify learn TypeScript so I know that's a Scrimba module. Maybe you guys are right about that. I'll do another sweep and see how common it is. It's a nice... like, if I should include it here or not. I'm a little bit cautious about overwhelming people. 9 months is a long time, man. 9 months is a long time. It might make sense to have, like, a little break in between or something like that. But it depends on the person. No worries, Don. It looks good so far. I feel it needs something, but can't put my finger on it. Well, if you come up with something, let me know, Black Kojak. Everything is something extra to learn, but we gotta learn something. Yep. What's up, Northern Chimp? There's a lot you can learn. Like, I think the big message here is a lot of people underestimate the front-end world to actually be competitive and marketable. A lot of people just get kind of an A to Z solution that's, you know, some $10 Udemy course, and, you know, they come out with very surface level knowledge, and I think that's a problem. It's a huge problem. You're competing with a lot of front-end developers, but a lot of front-end developers that have very surface level knowledge. So don't let the numbers overwhelm you. But if you're going to let anything overwhelm you, it's how much you need to learn. But hopefully that gives you a little bit of a reality check that maybe you should extend your, you know, how much time you're invested into learning and becoming a front-end developer. I wish they taught us TypeScript earlier when I was at school. They waited until a few weeks before a final exam, and on the exam it gave extra points to use TypeScript. Oh, okay, gotcha. Maybe like an intro into TypeScript? Yeah, I think this section makes fine. Or makes fine. I think this section is fine. I don't mind going into a little bit of a deeper dive with TypeScript. But yeah, maybe an intro. Wasn't there... Let me look. Learn primitive types. Structural types. Array types. More advanced TypeScript features. Oh, I would say this is a bit of an intro. This is an intro. Okay. Cool. Maybe just understanding the concept of types. Yeah. I like the push. I like the push for TypeScript. I think it makes sense. It's a different... The learning is a little bit different than what you've learned previously. It's a different syntax. It's not JavaScript. It's a superset of JavaScript. A lot of people, like, I don't agree with the statement that TypeScript is JavaScript. No, it's not. And I think TypeScript developers make that statement because you could technically, like, get, majority of your code working with just writing JavaScript. And you just basically... So, like, the idea is, like, you start introducing TypeScript into your project and certain modules progressively. And I think you should look at TypeScript like that. And I think companies should look at TypeScript like that. But it's not JavaScript. It's a lot more than JavaScript. And I think that's an understatement with TypeScript. I think it's harder to learn than a lot of people sell it as. And it's because people want JavaScript developers to use TypeScript. It's because they want to bring TypeScript into their code bases. And I get that. But I think a lot of people undersell the difficulty of it. TypeScript is basic to learn. 100% disagree with that, Renzo. Curriculum looks great, Don. I wish I could join. Financially difficult at this moment, but I believe generally referencing it for my learning could be valuable. Awesome. Hey, if this spreadsheet helps you, more power to you. I'm fine with that. I'm still learning a ton, and I'm a few years, and now, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of learning, but I like the front end. There's always learning. Because I am someone that gets bored. I learn what I need to learn, and I get bored at a job because of it. That is just my personality, and I always have to challenge myself. It's why a lot of programmers who like challenging themselves constantly and they feel fulfilled with it, they need to build a side project and pick up a new library on the side if they can't introduce it into their code base at work, right? Yeah. I was at a job interview. They asked if I had used TypeScript with strict mode. Had not heard of it. Interesting. Different, yeah. We definitely live in different parts of the world. So it's interesting hearing kind of the requirements that you've faced in your industry. Whew, I think I'm out of steam. We've been streaming for 3 hours and 30 minutes. I've just been intermittent fasting this entire time. Not a lot of water. I think I'm out of steam. Thanks for hanging out. And if anyone's watching this video or you're here till the end of it, I have a lot of details in like the community post that I posted. I'm probably going to include the link. I'll probably include the link to the sign up form in a pinned comment for this live stream for the past broadcast, which you'll get to watch afterwards. And then if you have any questions, like, you're welcome to email me. My email is in the About section on YouTube. You can email me if you're in my Discord server. You have questions and you're just trying to figure out if this is for you in terms of like the one-on-one mentorship, DM me on Discord. That's fine. I'm all about making sure it's a good fit. And before anything is like committed or you make any sort of commitment, we'll have a conversation. If I think it's a potential good fit, we'll have a conversation on video chat or voice chat, and just talk through that as well. So... Whew. Thanks for the stream. Thanks, Don. Appreciate that. Go drink some water. I'm gonna eat. I am at the end of my intermittent fasting period, and I am gonna eat. I'm gonna eat a lot of food. Okay, that's it. Thank you for the, the Twitch subs today and memberships and all of that. I appreciate that. I might be live later. I'm being honest. I'll probably be live later. We'll probably do like a Reddit roast or something like that, because I want to go over some articles and get some new content for maybe the next 3 weeks or something like that. So I just need a little bit of a break, and I'm gonna eat. I got a couple of other stuff I need to do, and then I'm probably gonna be live tonight. So I don't know when, but look out for that. But join Discord if you haven't already. I'll post the announcement there. But everyone, thank you so much for being here. Seriously. Good luck on all of your projects. And happy coding, everyone. Take care.